And an exciting afternoon. Welcome back in, guys. 2 o'clock. That means a couple hours left on a Monday that's getting worse by the minute here. That was fun, wasn't it? That short-lived rally. We had to kick off the day anyways. Back to the downside we go. A lot of this coming from Apple's move right now. Elon Musk tweeting a few things currently regarding Apple apparently threatening to withhold Twitter from the App Store. So Elon putting go to his Twitter feed. It's kind of funny. Put up a road sign that said pay 30% or go to war, and then the car trying to make the off ramp. So it's Elon causing, it would appear anyways, causing this move to the downside for Apple shares right now, dragging the overall market with it. 1.4 now for the S&P, 1.14 for the Dow, 1.29% for the NASDAQ in negative territory. So getting ugly. 2% still for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Crude oil with a nice bounce on that OPEC note. If you missed it, throughout the midday, they came out saying they're going to consider further cuts to come to production. CTLT in the pharmaceutical space, that was up early on this morning, continues. Win 4.5%, still holding on to positive territory. Everything else at this point back downside now, including the industrials group leading, actually, along with some of the banking sector, both pretty much all you can see. Not a single name here in the green. There are a few that are basically break even, but industrials and banks leading as far as downside movement. Currently, software names still holding on to positive territory, a few of them anyways. But look at this semiconductor movement right now. Almost 4% for Micron, 3% plus for ON Semi, NXPI's here, QCOM's here, AVGO, Broadcom's here as well. So getting quite ugly in the tech group as well. Hardware equipment makers also to the downside. Real estate stocks, material stocks, energy stocks also getting hit, even with crude oil back to the upside again. I'm going to keep my eye on Elon's Twitter feed here as we get into the afternoon. Hope your afternoon's going well. What a day it's been. We had, I mean, it looked great right out of the gate this morning with the move back to the upside, even with, you know, some not so great headlines coming into the day out of China with COVID, more lockdowns potentially to come. We'll talk about some of those. ADRs coming up here, a few of them actually among the few still holding on to positive territory as we get into the afternoon. Let's start things off as we do every single day with a bit of a review as far as what we were talking about. 4 opportunities in the pre-market. Neil's here. He's going to lead us off this afternoon with a look at one of his trades.
Welcome, your trade of the day. It's going to be brought to you, as always, by Day Trader World. And we're talking some Apple here today. Lots of catalysts for Apple in today's market. But you started off with COVID lockdowns. You had Foxconn plant. There was some interesting images of people talking about riots and certainly some definite commotion going on, and then concerns about supply constraints down the line. But with all of that aside, the technical reason for the trade was actually pretty simple here. Now I've kind of blown this up, so hopefully you can see it pretty nicely. On the daily chart, I've highlighted your 50-period moving average on the daily, and you can see the last little bit, there's a lot of these crazy wicks, but if you look at the body, where we had most of these opens and closes, riding that 50-period and trying to bounce off it and holding some strength above the 50. You came in today, and we're testing that to the downside. So this is going to correspond with about 147 and change. So it's simple. Negative catalyst overall for the stock, in addition to for the overall market as well, and then a 147 level. So I'm looking for shorts. We're going to open below that price. Doesn't mean I want to short it exactly where it is or wherever it happens to be. It means I want to short it in front of that level, and it needs to break the 50-period on the daily for me not to be looking for shorts. Now, at the open, if you were watching, it was crazy whipsaw action. And almost immediately, the first wick is right up to a 146. I actually see it reject a 46, and this is a 3-minute chart. So in the first 3 minutes, you get that first wick up to 46. I jump into it thinking, oh, I'll scalp off this. It's below that 47. It goes $1 in the money and is almost instantly back into the upside. Like I got the fill in front of 46, was on the bid at about 11s, and then it shot right back to the upside. A crazy, crazy wick bottom. We've seen this happen at 9:30, but you missed that first quick, easy money scalp of $1, but then it's back to your plan. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't actually get it. Let's see it bounce off lower than 147. It goes 146.5, comes right back into that 146 price. At this point, I wasn't completely convinced that I should be shorting 146 again. Allowed it to test the high where it failed that high. So at this point, I'm not getting 47s. You now made a double top at that 146 half. This is where we get in the second leg. There wasn't a third opportunity to be able to get into it. But this time when it does give me that push back into 146, I'm remembering what happened here, and I scalp some out anyways. Context is going to be important. At this particular time, Tesla was running to the upside, breaking shorts. You had some of the chip names were a little bit relatively weak, but most of the market was bouncing higher. The Chinese names, which had led to the downside, were also squeezing higher. So I wanted to make sure we're getting paid a little something out in front of VWAP. However, once it failed the lower high and got below VWAP, there really wasn't much to do except hold on to your short. You're going to see once we break out VWAP, I'm only getting some out at the low of the day and then trailing off for the low of the day. Now, there was not much of an opportunity to get back into that lower high, and that's that 146 level. So when I've scalped most of it out, I'm now holding on to the last piece. There's no other out until it breaks that low. Like, you've got to break that channel. And then once it broke the channel, okay, now I'm thinking about where to get out. I'm not just going to sit in front of 144. Instead, I like doing a trail as it tests that 144 level. And the key thing is, if you've already scalped out a portion of your trade and you're sitting there in the money and you want it to work past that low, you can't just sit on the bid underneath the low of the day. You just give up 10, 20, 30, 40 cents, which doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going to allow it to break that level. Once it's $1 in the money, it's like let it run and see how far it can go to the downside. But the key was you don't always want to have a bias, but sometimes having a bias can help. And just once we had broken this support of the 50 period on the daily, it helped to clarify to only be looking for shorts. And as long as that stayed valid at the open, just find yourself into an entry and then try to hold it as long as you can. This one ends up being almost a full day trade. We'll see where it goes at the end. But there are a lot of names that gave you reversals. Some of them had to blow through key levels, and you had to be able to hold through them. This one never violated that 50 period on the daily. Love that indicator on the daily chart. Love that trade. It's your trade of the day. Brought to you as always by Day Trade the World. Scan that QR code below. Start your journey the right way.
And it was a great one for Apple. Back downside, we'll continue the conversation. Back on the watch list as per usual, guys. Make sure you grab that every day. It comes right to your inbox. All you have to do is hit that QR code or type in that link, enter your email address. You can have it just like that for free. It's great. We'll talk about Apple here. Let's continue this. I wanted to mention this. Here is this tweet from Elon talking about which way he should go. So basically what happened, somebody asked him whether or not the App Store is giving him a hard time with continuing to have Twitter on the App Store, and his answer was yes, they are. So this was his response on Twitter. Pay 30%, go straight. He wants to go to war with Apple and the App Store. So that caused, or ignited anyways, this move downside for Twitter, or Apple, I should say, but because of Twitter. And let's talk about Tesla, because we're talking about Elon as well. It was on watch this morning. What a reversal out of what looked pretty negative pre-market, guys, back to the upside in a big way for Tesla on China worries.
Yeah, we could talk about China, but and Tesla, but I want to talk about Apple as well, as we started that there. We had it on our sticky note here today, right? Apple again with China, lower iPhone looks short. So we've been shorting Apple here all day, and actually it is now my #1 stock on the day. There's the short that everybody had early, 146, got it out, right there, 140. That's about $1, about 80 cents. Then we just covered the last piece right there at 144.80. So this is almost $3 worth of a cover right there. And then when we covered it, I said on the midday show, it was right at 1 o'clock, I said to Brad, he covered, remember? And then he said, well, if I'm covering, then he's going to cover. But what he didn't realize was I was going short again. So I said once actually, forget about it, scratch that. I can actually show it to you right here when we did cover. So here it is right here. And if you're not following on Twitter, that's fine. Maybe you don't have an account, I don't know. But right here, just covering this Apple trade here from the morning. So we just covered it right there, right? So that's about $3. Like I said, but day's bottom may hold, but if not, I'm going short again. So right there, given to you guys at 110. So even when we're not on the air, here it is right there. There's 110 right here. Same time, right? So I'm not like one of those traders that's going to give you the trade after the fact. I actually stick my neck out every single day on that sticky note, give you some ideas and some levels. So right there, we reshorted it again. Before I reshorted it, I put on the note that we were going to do this. So there it is again. And look at Apple just, I mean, like we said there, or like Neil mentioned there on the trade of the day, it's like once you have that bias, like for me, I try to stick with, I know Neil said you got to switch it up, and you can. When there's news out there and things change, you have to be flexible. There's no doubt about that. But my bias today was only short on Apple. And then as long as the market was doing this, which it's been doing pretty much all day, you know, we had a good start of the market, and then it's just sort of been dripping down. Obviously, we had some sideways movement, but that's just better opportunity to get short right there. So, I mean, there it is. Apple, you know, turning this day completely around for me. And now we are $1.20 in the money on this Apple trade and still holding a $2 winner. It's too bad we got out of Shopify. We'll talk about that as well. But still holding a $2 winner for Amazon. What a great day it's been. I'm just going to sit here and just keep on watching. There we go. We just got another fill on Apple right there at 70. 71 or 72. So that's another $1.30 on this, or $1.20. So yeah, Apple continues to work. I know we both have Tesla trades on. All right, we'll do Tesla first. I mean, since we're still here, and we'll talk about it. Completely wrong on Tesla early, right? What we liked was the short. I talked about that again on the sticky note, sort of for the same reasons, was that we came in with some China worries here for Tesla today, and I just was like, hey, we're looking at this 185 area just in here somewhere. That's 184. Up top right here is 185. So I just was like, hey, man, maybe we hold that area. And I think we did really, really good on Tesla. You know, the fact that I'm down on Tesla about a quarter of what I'm up on Apple right now lets me know that we did a pretty good job getting out of the way. So short there, made some money. Short again, made some money before eventually getting out and being net negative on Tesla. As you can see, it's right back to that 183. I think we're just going to stick with Apple, but Tesla, good day today, still positive. So I think that bodes well for the stock.
Actually, Tesla right now holding what was the first initial pullback it was into 183. I remember because the initial short I had was 184 in front of 185. Oh, sorry, I had the 180 that stopped out really tight at the open, and then there was that one little pullback, and that was the only dip. But I think if you're looking for a long, on a 3-minute, it was all green until you dipped into this 183 area. So this is a pretty key area for Tesla right here, right now. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to have it wrong, but right when it comes to getting into Tesla, it's just a matter of not getting run over too badly and always adhering to your stop out levels. And it was twice off that 185. Now it's headed to the upside. We'll see. I only have one long position as the market's cratering here. It's in Man U. You might remember that from last week. Relatively strong stock. Again, trying to go here today, but even that thing just rejected a 22 high. But I do have the long in Man U. Only thing left on the board to the long side.
Just reading a tweet here from who is it? Media advertising exec for Apple, who's talking about Q4 ad spend downside across the board. I'll read that in a second. Here's some more Chinese action today. Pretty impressive chart here for Pinduoduo, considering what the market has done overall. If you missed it this morning, PDD reported very, very early on this morning. Nice report, beat right across the board. Q3 and Q4 forecast were decent. What sell-off? We're still up 13% here, just trying to hold this early support. But I mean, the biggest move happened when this report actually came out early on this morning.
Yeah, like really, if you look at it, PDD hasn't done a heck of a lot, but it's super impressive on the charts, on the daily, breaking out in every way. I like this. I liked 73 for a dip buy. It just never happened. It broke out 73 multiple levels on the daily chart 4 times. This has been a key level over the last year and change on Pinduoduo. So it was pretty simple. I said, look, if it just dips into 73, that's where I want to pick up the dip buy. I guess we'll get to win. Like that one actually managed to come in for the dip buy. We just never got a chance on PDD. I think maybe there could be one if this breaks the low of the day. But you know, at that point, I always hesitate to trade the Chinese ADRs in the afternoon because you'll expect a big move and then sometimes it just really doesn't happen. That's about the only thing standing in the way of a 74 break that looks pretty interesting. I decided that I wanted to have a look at Alibaba. And BABA was not clean this morning. I liked it in beneath this 76 level. You can kind of see down here. I'm like, yeah, I'll short this at that 75, give it into that 76. It just absolutely took it out. As a matter of fact, it's still not even breaking down some of those levels. So I took my shot in BABA. It didn't work out. And then there was no chance to get it at the higher level at 79 even. Because sometimes what will happen is you'll have a couple levels you want to work something off of. It never sees the top. And I thought if it was going to break higher, it should maybe get to that high from, I guess that would have been Wednesday. Yeah, it just never got there, unfortunately, for me. So I missed the opportunity to get back into the short on Alibaba. But I'm probably not going to take the 74 breakdown. And then I think about it in Pinduoduo. I've been burned too many times thinking that these Chinese names are going to move in the afternoon, and then they don't end up doing that. So I'll stick with the chips. I have some intel. We'll probably not talk about that. So just in an effort to sort of talk about some of the positions here just quickly. This is not the intel short from earlier when I was shorting off the early morning curl at 29.10. I actually added to the position when it broke the low of the day. I said if it took out 28.80, I would add to that position. So I have the 28.80 short now. But it's more about sticking to what has been working, and if I find an entry to Intel short, it's just been a good trade and has been for months now. At least when the market was falling and I noticed this was weak, or when the market was ripping and this was weak, I was able to find my way into the Intel short, which we're still in now. But I'll probably be staying away from these Chinese names in the afternoon. There's never been much of anything there.
All right, just so you guys are aware here, we are bidding something out here at 143.65. If Apple does want to fall back in, we're $1.30 in the money on this trade, and we're just going to, I mean, it's just bounced off the day's low a couple times. You know, see, just like what we did right here, when this was the day's low, 144, I believe anyways. Yeah, we weren't there in the morning. You know, it just kind of barcoded a little bit here. We're kind of doing the same thing down low, and we are also going to watch out to get out if we break above 144 again, a little bit more shares. So I'm only in about a quarter of this trade now. Most of them came out here, 144. Good trade. So, all right. The Chinese name that I screwed up on today is going to be XPEV. I just, again, like, wow. That's, you know, I don't really have too much else to say. It just got real going there, real fast, real early. And then we tapped out there because we have to. Well, we don't have to. I could always hold. And if I did, then this day would be monstrous, but we do not hold, and now we're just battling. So, you know, it's we get stopped out. We took a bunch of risk upside. We were short below 7. We got, I mean, they're not huge hits, man, but still, you know, when you're trading a $7 stock, you want to use a little more shares because we're here to make money. So that's 714 right there. Once it broke 710, I gave it a little bit more love. We wound up getting out at 713, and then we shorted it again before getting out at the top break of 725. So, you know, all is well on it, but still, my biggest negative stock for me today is XPeng, and it's at its lows. Like, this stock looks pretty disgusting. I mean, you've seen the daily chart. It's pretty bad. Its low is like 620, 625. I thought really we could break that today with some of that COVID talk in China again. But hey, man, maybe China's isolated. It doesn't seem like the fact that XPeng is only 1.7 and the market's 1.4. I really feel like this Chinese stuff's getting blown out of the water a little bit too much. We're going to talk about that when we talk about the casinos and stuff. But looks like Apple. Okay, Apple's up on board next. We're still short that name. But I would stay away from the Chinese names for now, just until, like I said, this COVID policy sort of either rears its ugly head and we know exactly what these stocks are going to do for their earnings. But I don't know. Like, if you're not able to produce cars and you're shutting down plants, for me, it can't be a good sign. So I'm going to continue to look short all these Chinese ADRs. But today, they got the best of me for sure.
And I mean, it's so up in the air as well. It's going to take some time, obviously, for this to work its way through. We talked a little bit about Apple. We can cover it. Or I just saw this pop up as well, guys. Google, or Alphabet, just broke day lows there. So it popped up on a day low scanner. This was 10 minutes or so ago. The FTC fining Alphabet a whopping $9.4 million in penalties. And this goes back to apparently some ads. They were sued in multiple states by iHeartMedia for ads promoting the Pixel 4 when it initially came out, I take. Anyways, $9.4 million on a fine for Alphabet, which is cafeteria budget, maybe?
At most, yeah. I mean,
or like a single match for Mbappe.
If they've got that kombucha we talked about.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, getting rid of those. I mean, you know what, the times have changed now, so hopefully they can start to. I mean, they said Amazon dropped, what, 11,000 employees, which was about 0.01% of the workforce. So you got to sort of calm down on some of that sort of talk. But that
it's all relative, right?
Yeah, it's all relative. That 9 million is a nothing burger. But we have Apple talk right now, so we will go over Google. I think Google was actually beating the market at one point here today. I just got out another piece here at 71 for Apple. So I said I was going to wait for 65s. It's bouncing around here. That's good enough for me. So we're getting out of Apple. Apple, we've already put out a bunch of tweets. Maybe here, I'll just put out I'm not going to show it again. You guys have already all over it. I'll just put my handle in the chat at TraderTV Sean. And I want to thank everybody for all your kind words on Twitter because, and even Sharif said he gets followed by like 3 fake Seans a day. There's nothing I can do about it. So keep reporting them and thank you for supporting the show and hopefully the real Trader TV, Sean. Okay, so right here, just short all day. We wrote it down early. We wanted the short. We didn't even get lucky here. We took this trade. Like we let it bounce up for us. We waited at 146.50. We got the short. We knew we wanted this name into the short. So, and again, it was a pretty easy trade for me today. That's why we've been short twice. Here's 146 right here. So, really like that bottom level. I wrote down if we ever got to 148, then that was going to be, the short for sure. We never got up that high, so we definitely take advantage of some of these moves here on Apple. It's a downside move. I'm still really long this name. It's one of the top holdings. My top holding's Google, so my second one probably is Apple. I'll have to double check, but huge move down here. I'm not selling any of my Apple shares, and I don't know if anybody is either, but someone is today, down 3%. So just be careful with this name. We know it can slip up and can continue to go lower. That bottom of what, 132, I believe? Yeah, right there. I guess we got a little lower than that, 130 or so. But I said this last week when we were up here, 150s, 154. I said we probably test this low again right around Fed. So Fed is the 13th, then the CPI is the 14th. And I just feel like we'll probably be down there before then and then want to see what happens if we bounce off. So I just feel all this Chinese talk, guys, it's not great. I mean, look what's happening right now, even lower. So now we're $1.40 now in the money on this one on a reloaded position. When you believe in the trade, I took it a couple times there. I like the Apple short. And like I said, I think I'm going to be on here until we get into that low 130 area.
So, I mean, we kind of gone over Apple a few times here, but I did forget to go over a lot recently has been about the big caps, and I think everyone understands that. Like when the market's moving, the big cap, especially tech names, have just been the place to go. But there was one small cap. It was Taboola. I hope I'm saying that right. They would get that partnership with Yahoo, 30-year partnership, for what that's worth, and they were gapping up. But sometimes it's not that complicated. Go to the daily and look at the last bag holder level at about 325 here. So it did make a failed break at the open, and I just actually put this out saying, you always want to trade your favorite setups, right? When they're there, you want to make sure you're taking advantage of them. So if you looked at that level at 325, 330 area on the daily chart, there was a wick high through 315. It tried to break here right at the open, 930, breaks the top, fails in front of that last level on the daily chart months ago, and then gives you the consolidation right lower, right at about 305 to 310. So that's short into the previous pre-market low at 275. And then when we left you guys in the afternoon show, I was like, look, at this point, it's either going to break this little tiny channel here and we'll get the last of it out in a trail at 290, or I'm adding to the position when it breaks lower. And it broke lower, got down to 250. I did take most of it out. Now I have a target, which I'm going to actually cancel here because that's pointless. Like there's no point having a 237 target in front of 230 when it just stopped at 240. So I'm going to trail this now probably above, you know what, I'll give it a little bit more room. I don't want to give it to exactly 250, but I'll probably trail this above like 255 and look to see if it can't get even lower than this. Like it's already proven that it wants to work. It's given you a couple of legs. Now let's see if it can fall even further. Sometimes when there's a gapper to the upside, the only play realistically is to fade it, even if the news seemingly is pretty solid here. So TBLA, I'm still in it. I'm going to throw a trail in just to make sure that we can hang on to this. And I'm continuously trailing Apple on the way to the downside here because it's not really showing too many signs of slowing down.
I was just having a look at these casinos once again. If you missed it this morning, I had to read this story 2 or 3 times because when I came in this morning in the pre-market and saw that LVS win, we're all gapping to the upside. It seemed a little strange because of the negativity surrounding what was happening in China and the COVID cases exploding over the weekend. But if you missed it, this was the headline that sent them all higher this morning. Macau announcing new licenses to come right across the board, it would appear, starting in January, guys.
Yeah, I will go over that. First of all, Astros keep getting richer. Bobby Abreu, is that good enough for them? First baseman there, signing with the Astros.
Oh, Jose Abreu.
Sorry.
Bobby Abreu is the Philly outfielder.
Do you know how old that guy got? That guy's like retired 10 years ago,
He's
right?
probably like 50 years old.
Yeah.
It was like
sorry,
Bobby,
Jose, sorry.
They got Jose Abreu?
Yeah, 3-year deal. Yeah. Okay, so that's the Astros.
That doesn't make me happy.
Shout out to all the Astro fans out there. Again, I just want to get over. I'm just getting out of Apple right now. Not getting out of it. Taking out a quarter of what I have. I'm not doing the trailing stop strategy. That's great. I mean, I like to do that. It's just right now I'm only doing it because we're bouncing off 11,600 right now. So, for the NASDAQ, it's been a pretty epic move to the downside. So let's take off another piece here of Apple right there at the bottom of 50. So it did. I was waiting at 31. It went down to 38. So hopefully Apple can get back going to the upside. All right, Win. I know Neil talked about, or Neil has this on. I don't, or doesn't, or
I'm out of it
had.
now, but I had it.
Yeah, sorry, had it on. I'd never had this on, but it didn't quite get to 80. I guess it didn't break that. I don't know what. No, that's in the pre-market. Yeah. So once the market opened up, I was looking for an 80 break to go long, to be honest with you. Still up 4%, which is really nice considering the market that we have today. I like Win. I like everything about it. I've already talked about the fact that they have some debt on some of their properties does make sense why they're down here. But again, I just feel like they're a little too low for what they provide. They're a first-class operator, obviously, there at Vegas. And then you get sort of the push and pull from what's happening in Macau. So new licenses. It's always good to trade these names on active days. I like Win, but this, if you see here, I'll just zoom back out a little bit. I'm long this name. I think we're finally in the money. I didn't look, so I can't confirm that. But I just think if we take down 80 right now and come, if you're in one day and you're at like 83, 84, to me, that's when I'll start to sort of aggressively go long using 80. But right now, it seems like it's going to be the top. If you're long from down here, I would definitely ring the register a little bit here and then just watch out because you're running into a lot of resistance in between 80 and 85. So for me on Win, although we've had a great day trading other names today, Win off my radar until we get above 80. So I just didn't want to buy any dips. We should have because it went down to 76, which would have been huge. But again, Win, nice trade today. Just unfortunately, I don't have it on.
Yeah, sometimes the dip buy, like I think it was Pinduoduo. I was like, well, if it fills in the gap, I only want to catch a falling sword at one price and never got there. Win did get down to 76, and sometimes it's not that complicated. Last week, you had a 76 resistance, so that's where I was just looking for the bounce. Got out in front of it, and then when it bounced, allowed it to actually make the low, right off of Friday and Wednesday and Tuesday. The same bottom here is about 75. Once it held that bottom, then add to it on the way back up at 76. And this is a key thing, like add to it on the way back up, not on the way back down. Because that way you're not just standing in front of a falling sword the entire way. You're not really getting the full position on until it makes its bounce. And then once it does so, it could not get past the pre-market. I guess the pre-market low was about 78.50. It couldn't get past there. I had gotten out in front anyways and even tried to reload, and then just no good. Even now, it cannot get past 78.50 as the market continues to fall off. If the market catches a bid, though, I've been sitting here looking for this to maybe break out that 78.5, 78, 75, but the market's going to have to show some strength. It's just it's a good-looking chart on the daily, but I really needed to see it come all the way back in, resistance turning into support. I would have liked to have been into Pinduoduo, but that never happened. This one did set up. I'll have this one on my radar because the levels on the daily are still pretty solid. If it gets back through 81, I think that's a good breakout. I think if it gets to 84, that's a big level. I'm just going back here on the daily. So there's lots of good levels if this can continue its trend. It's just a little bit too much selling in the market for that to happen today. And I didn't get trailed out of Apple. I just said I put a trailing stop into it, or kept on adjusting my trail. This time I did trail out there in the last bounce off 143. It would probably have to go up to 44 or 44.5 for me to get back into this one.
We were just, I was reading through some of this tweet exchange back and forth, I guess. There's someone named Jordan, I guess, who is the social media advertising coordinator for Apple, and replied to Elon Musk talking about why they slowed down their Q4 ad spend on Twitter specifically. And the second reason he uses is lack of trust in Twitter leadership specifically. So that's what caused that picture from Elon earlier. Anyways, I thought that was kind of funny. Here's Shopify. We were talking about some of these e-commerce names to kick things off this morning. If you're with us in the pre-market, a bunch of analysts, not just one or two, but there was 3 or 4 out this morning with positive notes essentially mentioning all of these, including, I saw Adobe mentioned as well for Cyber Monday. But Shopify, anyways, was up more than 6%. Fades off 40 right out of the gate this morning. 40 was the high, tested it a couple times. Coming back to session lows, still though, guys, I mean, 2.5% in a pretty negative market here. Not bad for Sharp.
Yeah. You traded Shopify before you get to Shopify. Apologies in advance, because our cough button, if it's on Brennan and I try to silence myself for a sneeze, it actually turns my mic on when Brennan's talking. I just found out, so apologies for that sneeze.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so for Shopify, look, this was the #1 stock before I put on Apple here for the show. But, I mean, Shopify, great trading this morning, man. We identified that $40 level. It doesn't even look that great on a chart, honestly, to be honest with you guys, about the $40 level. It's not, I mean, this is why, I mean, I went back into it twice, but like, you know, when you sort of expand out, normally I like to see sort of, you know, at least some kind of bar coding up here or something about this $40 level. And it's not even that significant. They've only been up here twice over the last 2-3 months, or, you know, since we've been down here. And both times we got hit back, and we only stayed up there for one day maybe. So we were up there. That's very temporary. Then it moved down, and then we were above it here. Yeah, just one day, the 14th. So we haven't spent, Shopify hasn't spent a lot of time above $40. Okay, so you know, I just felt like, hey, if we got to that level on Black Friday, then we would short that. And I just felt that the rhetoric coming in today, I don't know, I didn't think Black Friday shopping was that great. From what I heard, I was listening to a podcast on the way in. It was actually Closing Bell from CNBC from Friday, because again, I wasn't in on Friday, so I was listening to stuff they were talking about, and they were talking about Black Friday sales, and there was an initial report. It was only Friday, so, you know, but there was an initial report that it wasn't that great, and that Amazon was coming in like 3rd or 4th on the searches. And I think it was Walmart won, Target, then Kohl's, then Amazon. So I wanted to short Amazon. And then I thought, hey, if it's all these big businesses, then what about the small businesses that Shopify deals with? And then I came in today and saw on our watch list that Shopify was on there with all these upgrades, up 6 or 7%. So I tweeted out immediately that this was going to be a trade for me today. And there it is, man. Short. There's my best out, 38. Once we broke above 38, I just got out. We could still be in it. I feel like I got a great out there. This is out for about 20%. So Shopify definitely paying the bills with this name today. Nice downside move. We got out pretty early, which was really great. We traded it the best we possibly could have early. We got the top there and the bottom before it blew up, and then we hit the short again, and everyone saw me take this live on the show at $40. So it was a great trade. My best cover, so that's a short at 40. That's a cover at 38.12. So that's $2. So, I mean, that's a win right there. And like I said, very profitable name for us, second only behind Apple. So Shopify, good trade. Let's see if it can hold these lows. I don't see anything else right now. I do have some more trade ideas that we'll get into once we are done this board here.
Yeah, I just got asked a question about Airbnb. I'll get to that in a second. I wanted to go over, because the firm's at the low of the day, down 3%. This wasn't gapped up. Like, Shopify was gapped up. And then, you know, obviously we made it run higher, and even Amazon was slightly to the upside when the market was down early on. But, you know, Affirm was down over 1% at the open, despite that Black Friday. I was like, okay, well, if there's a pop in Affirm, I like it to that 1350 area. Just looking at Friday's highs, looking at Thursday's highs off of that. And it's just sometimes you look at the level, and it's not good at the time at 9:30. That's the 15-minute. But when you boil it down to the 3-minute chart, I should say, like, it's getting in and then getting stopped on your higher time frame chart. But when you actually look, when this fails at 14 even, forget about 14. I wasn't looking at 14, so who cares? I'm not going to have that trade. But when it reclaims that 1350, you can actually see it here. Hard leg in, and then this nice little, on the 3-minute, nice little tiny consolidation at the original stop price. So, and this happens close enough to 10 o'clock where I always say, if you have some trade ideas from the morning, at the open, if something crazy happens at the open and you get whipped around and thrown around, just revisit it after like 15, 20 minutes and then see how valid it looks. Is it still set up at the key prices? In this case, it ended up doing so. I just never got back into a firm. I mentioned Intel there a little bit, but someone asked about Airbnb, and I have no issues going over this one. I should have had this trade. This was Manu was the best opportunity to the long side yesterday, on Friday, I should say. But Airbnb was a great level twice in the last week at that 98 level. It's just one shot, pop and flush off that same 98. And I think now you got to be patient with this. I still favor the shorts in Airbnb as long as it's beneath that price. But it's either off 96, maybe 95 half in the afternoon, or it just needs to break down. Like, you look at this, it's still got some support, a lower high, a wick bottom through 94 even. I think it needs to travel back down, at least in through this 94. I think you're diddling around here on low volume and not doing a heck of a lot. So I'd short pops into VWAP, or I'd wait for it to get down into 94 even. That was a good stock this morning, but like so much, if you didn't catch that first move, you don't want to always chase the stock just because it happened to make a big move earlier.
All right, shoot, man. So I talked about that we'd put on some new trades for you, and we just did right now. So we're gonna put on some more right now as well. So we're just short now. Amazon, we just added some here, 94.07, I believe, and we just took an 02 as well. So average price brought down to 94.40 right now. So again, Amazon's been a really great stock recently, just to the downside. We got stopped out early, but then we got our revenge late. So quick stop out on Amazon as it ripped up and broke through 95. Then we reshorted this name, and now we're reshort again. And I don't want to give this too much. That's 94.40 up there. I really just want to give this name to like 94.20. If it does break higher, I don't. And again, this has been one of those, I mean, here we go. We're to the downside. We just reloaded it, so it's only 6 cents off that. The market's slow right now, and I see people in the chat saying, like, is there anything to trade? The market's so slow. I mean, you could always find names, but it's just about the risk that you're going to put on. Like, I put on some here because I believe in this Amazon short, but it's not a very good day to go out and sort of hunt for all this stuff here. I don't need... Actually, what am I doing? I don't want these on there. Get this off. I don't want to see the part fills on my 3-minute chart. So, okay, so here goes Amazon back to the downside. I really feel like we could retest these bottoms. They're not even that far away. That bottom right here is 83. So let me I just put this on. So I'm going to put a bid out now. I don't have any bids out. So I'll put a bid out there at 91 or so. See if we can capture a little bit of profit right there down to 90, 91. And then a break lowers into the 80s. And then that low break of the day is going to be 93.73 right there right now. So we just reshorted Amazon. Here we go. Hopefully we're already 10 cents in the money, which is not bad. And that's what I was going to say. It's 240 right now. I'm with all of you. If there's not much to trade, don't force anything, but here we go. We just found a decent opportunity right here for Amazon. So let's go. Bring it down, man. Just a couple more pennies. And like we say, bring it. Bring it, Amazon, right now. The bringer of rain coming in. Shout out to Josh Donaldson. Here we go. 93. Let's go. Let's go. We're at 91. We're bidding 91. Oh, we just missed us. We are bidding 91 here on Amazon. So hopefully that'll come in again. And we'll see what's good with this one. But there's 93. Come on, let's go. 93.93. Maybe that's a luck. Maybe there's luck there. 93.93, the double-double there. But we're waiting for 93.91. But I'm a little bit superstitious. I'm going to put something there at 93.
Yeah, and as Tesla gets back into this upside, so it does bounce off 183. I'm looking at that. I liked 85 before. 85 also happens to be VWAP. That's where we broke down at about 150 or so. So as it gets higher, I want to get my price. Like, I don't want to chase this and short it $1 away. So I like this 185 here on Tesla. There is one name I want, at least for right now, I want it to the long side, and that's still Win. I mean, it's the NASDAQ stock. Why do I always think Win is a New York stock? I don't know why. But yeah, I'm on the bid in front of VWAP here on Win. I still think if market catching a bounce, there's a chance for this to go. But the other way I would like to take this is if it simply reclaims and breaks the pre-market bottom. This was 78.65. So I like it a couple of ways here. If I get the dip, great, fantastic, off VWAP there. But if we break out 78.65, just give me a stock that's stronger, that's showing something, a bit above VWAP this entire time. Market making fresh lows, and it's holding VWAP and higher lows. So in addition to buying the dip, I do also want to get a shot at this breakout here for when. I mean, it's the only one I've been looking at. I probably should at least take a cursory look at like LVS to see if it sets up better. Although I tend to find if you like a particular name in the space, just express the trade in that one and stick to it. Like I haven't really been looking at some of the others. I think it could be worthwhile to do so. I'm going to probably get another leg out here on Intel just because the market bounced pretty cleanly off of those lows. And we're still above 28.5 on Intel here. I got some out at 60s, and it's kind of forming a double bottom. I want to be in a position to short pops back into 28.80 or even 28.75. So I want to make sure that I'm getting more out here. 28.50 would be the terminal level anyways for me on Intel, so I'm going to take a little bit more. And then if we get back into the 75 to 80, I'm shorting this on the way up as opposed to anything else. But let's see if we can't get that long in win. And I'll give you one more that has a chance to break out. It's not quite there yet, but we've been talking some oil. Today, you did have the Saudis coming out saying, I think it was about, was it one? No, it was noon. It was noon that they came out and said that they could be cutting some production, further cuts, and there was a big spike up in oil. You saw Oxy go, and it broke from this level, like right here, 68.70. We just dipped off that level just before we came on air at 68.70. That's where I want the longs in Oxy, just to scalp it maybe to 69 and see if you can get back to the high of the day. So I want to stick to names that are relatively strong for these long positions.
Yeah, so we just got into more Amazon. I mean, isn't that funny? Like we missed Amazon by literally 1 cent. It went down to 92, and we are at 93.91 right now. So we're short at 23s. You know, if this goes back up and we take out 25, then we're going to be out of Amazon. So I see in the chat there some traders there. What's up, James, and everybody else didn't really like this short. I'm not in love with it. It's just a name here that I want to be short. I feel like it has bounced nicely off there. So we're just going to try to scalp this out. We're not trying to, like I said, set the world on fire here or anything with any of these trades right now. They're not like upsized positions. But again, if I lose, I'm going to be accountable for that. You know, you can't be on this show for as long as I have been and, you know, not be as honest as we can with all of the traders. So I do have an out here at 94.01 just to get a piece out of this because the last couple of shorts that we've had, one's at 11 and then you guys saw the 07 average there. So we've averaged it in. I can just get out right now for flat, but I don't really want to do that. So let's just keep on going to the downside here for Amazon. Maybe I'll take a piece out here at 04 if I can. These are very, very quick scalps like right now. We feel like we could be in trouble with this. The market has bounced off of 11,600 right now. So again, like I'm scalping, right? I have over 200 fills today. And it is what it is. I have 30 fills on Apple. I have 24 fills on Amazon. I have 15 fills on Docu. I have 80 fills on Microsoft. I have 14 only on Shopify. And that's the thing. Like I have little amount of a number of trades on Shopify, yet it's my second stock. So, you know, I'm keeping all this in mind that sometimes scalping is not necessarily the best way to go. But in this kind of a market right now.
Sometimes it's the only way to go.
Yeah, and I'm happy with that, right? So like even just now, we held Apple as much as we could, and we got a great trade. Like this is what I'm talking about. We got 143.40. Like that's $1.50, but now it's taking out the 50 period, and I just took out another piece right here of Apple at 143.90. So, you know, as the scalps come in, I'm here to take them. We're here to make money at the end of the day. For me, that's all that matters. So let's see if we can't keep that going. Amazon, again, if this happens to me again, honestly, I'm just going to take some out there at 03. I actually meant to punch 03, got 04, 03 half there. I'm bidding 94.01. So it just went there, it didn't fill me. So hopefully that doesn't happen again and then we rip up. So let's get some more out of Amazon, but this is a little bit of a slippery slope for sure on AMZN. Meta still 50 cents in the money on the short.
Well, you want a slippery slope. Nordstrom's is all the way, we're going to go to Brendan in a quick second, but Nordstrom's is all the way back to the Wednesday bottom. And look, I remember us picking the dip buy at 2040 or off of the 2040 level. It's 3 cents away from that low, down 7%. This retail name is getting absolutely crushed here today. And if it breaks this, you can see there's a bit of a gap fill, at least to even maybe 20, but you're talking $1.20 or $1.40 to the next low back on the 16th. So Nordstrom's at a pretty big key level, 20.40, 3 cents away. Brendo?
A little Chinese name, a low float name just popping up here. 4 million on the float for this one. Bon Natural Life, which is BON. You would think it's higher, but I'm just trying to find some headlines on this. But big spike downside here for BON.
Bon. All right.
Bon.
Not
Bon?
familiar.
James
Bon.
Bon? Yeah.
Bon, no D.
We both think of the same thing.
All right. Yeah, that's bonded. Okay. Yeah, you like the trade, Sean? Okay, good. Yeah, again, you just have to be scalping it. So good talk there, whoever that was. I just saw it and I scrolled down. I missed it. Oh, that's Bonk Gang. Boink Gang. What's up, Boink Gang? I don't know. Just another character there in the chat. Shout out to you.
Nice.
All right, so there it is. We just got 3 outs down there. We got it at 30%. And look, these are the shorts and these are the outs. Like if this is not scalping, then, color me salmon right now. But let's just see.
You are wearing salmon.
I know, that's why I said that. So if we get 94.25 break, sort of that high of that wick there, then we'll get out and we'll just reassess. Like I said, Amazon was a problem early and not a problem late. So there it is right there. We definitely got caught shorting early. There's no doubt about that. Hand in the cookie jar. But then we zoomed it out a little bit and we like that 96. So the 96 short good. I don't really like it down here. It's bounced off a couple times. This is, again, Neil and I have to be flat and out of all of our positions by the time 4 o'clock rings. So, for us, we're just looking for actionable trades here in the last hour. So that's really what it comes down to. Tesla's been relatively strong all damn day. So shout out to you, Tesla, and everybody else that was in there. And again, a name that it doesn't look that bad. We are down on it, of course. I have no problem. Like you might think that I'm up, but no, I held too much of a position to get out. So we take about $1 hit when it broke through 185. And it's kind of a good thing that we did because it went up to 186.20 there. So saved ourselves a little bit of money. Could have got back long at that key 185 level again before it popped to 188.50. And now look where we are. We're right here at 184, kind of in the middle on Tesla. So again, pardon my French, but I'll probably stay away from Tesla there, as I'm not going to say the word. Oh, last night we watched finally so because we went and got the Christmas tree, shout out to everybody there. We watched National Lampoons again yesterday, and what a great movie that was. Follow me all on, and again, it was a very successful reel. Here's me here. This is just a picture. Ooh, 160 likes. Thanks, guys, for that. Didn't even realize that. But there's a couple fun things that we've had here. This is Neil and myself at the Raptors game with Fahad, and then here we go right now, and there's a reel. Oh, this is actually the reel to go along with what we were doing, chopping down trees here, and that was really fun. Here's my kids, of course, and the wives always had to pick a cut your own tree. Yeah, this way. We were wearing like tons of layers. It wasn't even that.
It wasn't that cold.
It wasn't even that cold, really. But here we are chopping it down, and then, anyways, there's that. Couple good talks here about trading experience and whatnot, and then here is the Raptor game that we were at. Again, there he goes. There's Neil, me doing our shots. There's Fahad. He's got and then some security guard here. I don't know if he's selling that bling or what, but we were this close, man. We were pretty close.
You can buy them there.
Yeah, I should have. I didn't. I saw him wearing it. I was like,
I've seen the same thing. They have them at the Jays games too. It's like basically
it's pretty fun.
Yeah, but it's like, who's the wrestler that used to wear a chain like that? It'll come to me in a second.
Well, Junkyard Dog used to have JYD used to have all the big chains, but I'm sure there's been more that we don't know about because we're old. But I'm going to a WWE event. I didn't tell my kids yet, but that's a Christmas present. It's December 30th, I think, down here in Toronto. So that should be a fun event.
Oh, guess what's breaking up here? Looks like Oxy. Look, I like channel breaks, but I also like dip buys. But Oxy just took out 69 after bouncing off. This is my 15-minute chart. You guys know I'll use a 3-minute, a 15, and then a daily chart always. But I mean, for executions, it's usually off the 3 or the 15-minute. But on the 15, you do have that 69. Nice consolidation bouncing off the up. I do want to be long this thing as long as we're above here, but it just took out that channel to the upside. I'm still waiting on win. I don't want to get too impatient. It's a very similar setup. I just did it again. I just hit.
It's John Cena.
It's Cena. I mean, give me a break. I couldn't come up with John Cena. Oh, come on, Neil. How did I not come up with John Cena? I knew it was,
I have that chain.
Goodness, of course.
But I don't know if that's a Raptors spinning thing or not.
If it doesn't spin, then the Raptors need to figure it out.
You can't see me. My time is now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
If it doesn't spin, like if they spin in, they spin in. they should always be spinning.
Damn it! I should have bought that damn thing.
I can't believe.
I'm going back. Actually, I'm at the Raptors game this weekend.
He was standing in our section the whole night. I'm like, that's
this
pretty
Saturday.
cool. Are you back this Saturday?
Yeah, they're against the Magic.
Oh, you get to see Bull.
Yeah, isn't he like 8'4"?
He's got game.
Yeah,
Everyone
I know.
keeps talking about this guy everyone's tanking for, whose name I can't pronounce, but he's like a 7-footer. He plays like Giannis and all that nonsense.
Wembanyama,
whatever. I think that's how you pronounce it.
French
but
guy.
Bull basically has that game, and you can watch him play for the Magic right now. He's fun to watch, man. His dad.
Yeah, minute.
Could block a few shots here and there. Yeah, this guy has some serious game. It'll be a good game. We have Wagner's pretty good on that team. Back into the market. I got Oxy, but I want to get a long here and win if I can catch it. I'm sitting right there in front of 78. I want to get in front of this VWAP at least a little bit closer, and then we're going to get this long. The market's at the low, but if we bounce off of it, I think we have a chance to maybe run here. So we're going to get that shot. And if it comes higher on Intel, I'm not on the offer, but I want this to get to 75.80, and then I'm going to put the shorts or add the shorts back in on Intel. So I want to stick to what's working here, but definitely like some Oxy and some win still potentially for longs.
All right. Yeah, so we're still. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? We could do it. You want me to call up the Twitter stock? That does not have a symbol anymore, so we won't be doing that.
Give it a couple years.
Apple's still down. Yeah, give it a couple of years. It will be back. Mark my words on that one. And Elon Musk is going to make probably between $40 to $50 billion when he brings that back on. You watch. My call is probably, what year is it? By 2025.
But you got to stipulate
he doubles his money
from the amount that he sold, because he'll have sunk more
I mean,
money
he
in-
won't
yeah.
make that himself.
From 54, yeah.
I'm just talking about he'll bring it back to market at double what he put
Yeah,
it.
so like it'll be worth 90 to 100, because he'll
that's
probably
what I
have
think.
sunk more money into. I mean, to some degree.
Yeah.
Depending on.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
see those numbers. I mean, he might not, right? I mean, if you get that kind of if it's working and it's his prize, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't. Who knows?
Oh, Kevin scores it there. So I want more. I want two shots. Because the Oxy trade, I want to be very similar to the win trade. So when I'm taking the break, I want to give it two stops. So there's your consolidation. It's about 66.80 or so. So it's risking about 20 pennies. And then as it gets to 20, I'll take a leg out there. I mean, I'm on either side of 20 to take a leg out, just so I get an average of 1-to-1 and then play it to the high of the day. So my stop will be beneath this lower high. And if it breaks down, I'll probably just take it again off VWAP. But when something, instead of getting in on VWAP, I hate VWAP as an entry point. I usually like to let it bounce off VWAP first and then jump into the trade. So I'll play that one by ear. But I'll have been stopped out at 68.80 and then some slippage on Oxy if it does go down to that price. We'll see what happens. I still wouldn't mind Tesla at 185, but this move up in the market, and when I say this move up in the market, I mean this move up in the market, that's 20 points. It's nothing on the NASDAQ. But it's not that bad of a bounce. And Tesla's not really getting to that 185 for me. So I don't want to get in too early. That's exactly the mistake I made. I think this morning was jumping into Tesla a little bit too early a couple of times. So I'll be a little bit patient here, looking for that 185 level. I don't want to get too far away from the plan of action, right? Like that's VWAP, that's 185, that's the key level. I'm not going to do anything here at 84.
All right. I mean, so I'm getting pretty impatient, I think. Now the NASDAQ, and again, it's like there's only an hour left, and of course we only have until 3:50 until the imbalances come out. I don't think that's going to be a huge thing there, but maybe it's something that moves the market. Like the NASDAQ is just dancing around the 50 period. This is like not ideal. You know, I mean, are we going up? Are we going down? Like to me, that's why I look at the 50 to try to get some direction. You can see what happens when it's super choppy, when it's like this. Boom, I know I could try to find some shorts, but for right now, it's like I'm torn in between if we want to go long or short on a lot of these names. So, I mean, Apple, that's why we started to cover down here. Remember when it was barcoding? And I was like, the same thing we did here at 144. We started to do it again there at 143.70. Then we did get the low of the day on Apple of 143.50 basically. And then we took another piece out right now at 143.90. So, you know, we're kind of just at the top here for Apple doing the same stuff. So I don't really have like an overly strong opinion right now on what's going to happen. So with that being said, our Amazon, although we're out of 30% of it, I have a feeling like this is going to want to test some of these levels. So we're going to have some videos there, and we have a good video out on our Market Wisdom page about VWAP and some of these different moving averages and things like that. So I just feel like it wants to just gravitate. When a stock is kind of doing nothing, I feel like it just kind of like look, we're up here, comes down to VWAP, pops back, sort of hits the middle again. It's just, and like right now with the market doing nothing and Amazon doing nothing, I feel like it wants to float up. Like, I don't know, could be wrong. Excuse me. I hope it goes the other way to the downside. So that's what we're doing. So waiting on Amazon to go. A name that I am going to be red on, but hopefully not, is going to be, well, I am right now, is Meta. And again, you guys saw me go long on this one. Like, look at the barcoding again, right? So barcoded here, broke lower, we got out for the big L right there. But then we wound up, this is actually a short. So right there, long, long, long and out. Then we were like, forget about it, man. We took 110 out, so we shorted it. And since then, we've been holding the same short. It only went down to 109, so it went down to 108.85 there off of a 110 short. So that was like a buck and change in the money. What is that? 10. Yeah, that's 109. So give it a $1.20 or so. And now you're kind of doing the same type of stuff. So if this can hover, if the market does rip and we get to like 109.50-ish, and then around here, that's 40, that's 50, then I feel like these are decent shorts for Meta. So let's just hold on to this. And I'm just going to be net short. That's it, right? We're short Amazon, we're short Apple, and we're short Meta. There's no longs on the board. Neil's already explained his Oxy long. And even though everything seems to be going up right now, I just don't know if there's going to be enough volume to withstand this. So I'm going to be looking for bump ups and then reshort some of those tops.
Speaking of one.
Yeah, if you have another, I was going to go over to Disney.
Well, I just went over to Intel because it just wicked that 70 area. That's not a bad place to re-enter, but someone was asking to go over the chips. I was looking at AMD here because I was kind of thinking, okay, is there anything at the bottom that maybe is setting me up for a long off the lows? But nah. I mean, the big levels on AMD on my 15, like it's got to get down into 72. There's probably still room to the downside. But Intel just got up and started its journey for my re-entries. And, like it's been trending to the downside, obviously. But when it broke 80s the first time, it got down to 28.70. That's where the first leg out was. And then it found some support there before really breaking down. So on the way back up, I'll start it at 70 again. Now my average price will be 72 because I've taken out most of the 80s. So just playing this trend. But the only thing I regret is right in here, like when it did this wick, it got back up to 28.90, and I wasn't. Always zoom out, right? You should always zoom out when you're trading stocks. And sometimes I don't spend enough time my 15-minute, but it did this test back into previous lows the week before and then slammed down. That's when I actually added to it at 28.80, but I could have had that short if I was waiting for it to get back up into that level. Sometimes it's just what you got to be able to do. But I was just getting some more shares into that, and I wanted to have a look at NVIDIA. Like these are looking like they want to roll over. Like AMD's $2 away from support. NVIDIA 160. Ooh, why was I not shorting one? Oh, no, because I was in Intel. But 160. I think someone in the chat this morning, shout out to whoever was yelling 160 on NVIDIA, because that was a really good breakdown. Held support all day long and then broke that one down at 2 o'clock. So, yeah, if we pop to the upside, I'll short 160 on NVIDIA if I'm not too wrapped up in Intel. I'm liking that level the more I look at it.
All right. I'm still looking for levels as well, but I'm going to go over something different, I guess. Shopify retesting. Okay, we can go look at that quickly. So Shopify is retesting some of these levels again. But, I mean, it's marched up almost straight up 50 cents from this bottom of the day. So is this like something that you really want to be shorting here, Shopify? Like straight upside, I mean, a couple pullbacks, but those have just been all buy opportunities. You're above the 50 period, you're above the 200 period. To me now, this looks like a short for Shopify. Looks like a nothing for Shopify, if not a long, because you're above these levels with VWAP obviously well away because we spent the whole day underneath it. It's not going to get up to it unless we do get a good spike. So again, I just feel to go short here, it's just like when I look at this, and we talk about this all the time on the show, and the reason why we keep doing it is because we keep getting such positive feedback on some of the stuff that we're talking about. It's just like, I always enter a trade thinking, where's my out? And that's sort of the first thing. I don't think like, oh my God, how much money are we going to make on this trade or anything like that. I'm thinking to myself, okay, where is the out, and does it coincide with where I think the stock can actually go? So, when I look at this, if I'm going to go short now at 38, my out's going to be 38.40 or so. Like that's the high right there. That's 30s. So, give it a little bit. that puts me basically, I'm then thinking that Shopify, by doing that, has to go back to 1-to-1, basically back down to the lows of the day. And I just don't really see that happening. Now, although now, with this spike down a little bit here in the futures, now we're starting to cook with a little bit of gas. So maybe there is something here on Shopify not turning around, looking for a turnaround. So maybe we can get Shopify to turn around a little bit. On that note, Amazon is back down here. I am bidding 95. So let's see if Amazon can fill us up there. Why worry about 95 when you can have a 97, right? So there it is. We just put a 97 bid. Thank you. I was going to say, don't miss me on that. We'll put another one at 91 because we were missed the first time. But there it is, man. Hit the damn sirens again. We stayed net short into a negative market. I feel like that's the right thing to do. So I'm looking for some more of these. There's another out for Amazon. We're hitting the cycle, man. Shout out to all you guys that were short with me, and a shout out to those of you that are long Amazon. I mean, that's why we talk through these things. That's why I sort of give like what I'm thinking about Amazon. Where are my outs? Where are my ins? And then just try to play the risk appropriate. So it's not like we're only ringing the bell because the market's going down and we're taking a little bit of profit. This by no means is like, you know, a day maker, but hey, profits. And if we're going to talk about our winners, we got to talk about our losers. So here's a quick little scalp win. We have now 60% left of this trade.
Yeah, and I see the U.S. dollars making some moves there and possibly causing a bit of a spike into the downside. I want to get to Disney in a second, but I'm going to get on the bid of Intel. I reloaded at 28.70, but just to let you guys know, I mean, I've been getting out at the 60s when it gets there. I'll take a couple of legs out the same way I did before in the low 60s, and if it gets to 28.50, I'm kind of looking at that as a bottom for Intel. I want to get a bid out there, locked and loaded, as the market is starting to come in here. You wanted to get those reloads, but Disney just broke low of the day, so shout out to all those that pointed it out. Bit of a wick bottom for now, down 3%. I just wanted to, there we go. In your daily chart, we talked about this for Apple. I like things rejecting the 50-period moving average in the daily. It gives you a little bit of a bias. If I had seen this earlier, I probably would have been trading Disney. However, just go right back, 95.50, let's just get it out of the way. 95.50, you go right back into Wednesday's low. Some real volume, because there wasn't a lot of volume on Friday. But Wednesday's low, this 95.50, I think if Disney breaks that, you get a little bit more action to the downside. And I don't think, someone's saying AMD short till level 72. I was looking more at NVIDIA, and I just took some more Intel. But I mean, it's a very tight consolidation, and the support is down at 72 is what I was getting at, because I was looking for opportunities for longs, and I didn't like anything on AMD till it got to 72. So I suppose that does make sense if I think support's down there, but this hasn't broken the channel bottom. It's still hanging off those lows, and I'd rather short something a little bit like Intel, which I've been following the trend a little bit better. If we do get higher on Tesla, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, maybe we do, but that 185, it doesn't feel like it wants to get there, unfortunately. But I want to have a look at Microsoft, because this is setting up pretty decently for an entry point on Softy. Previous low of 242 on the, let's go to the 3 minutes so you guys can see better. Previous low 242 on volume breakdown and big wick through, and now it's rolling over south of that. So I want to give it to that 242. But this has been a pretty weak trending stock. When everything was showing strength bouncing at the open, Microsoft was not, quite frankly, so I already know it's relatively weak, and I like that 242. So I want to play this little curl here, and if it breaks the channel at 75s, I get out and re-engage at that actual 242 even. Brendo?
We were discussing last week, guys, Disney, obviously Bob Iger makes his return. We were talking a little bit about why that might be, and the fact that he's not really a manager, and he must have some bigger plan for the overall company. Here's a headline just coming across right now, guys. So Bob Iger, in a interview today, is talking about making streaming profitable as his top priority. At the bottom of this note, however, it says the returning chief executive declined to respond to speculation that Disney might explore a sale to Apple. If you remember, that was one of the rumors that was floating around at the end of last week. But I just saw on that note a bit of a spike there on volume to the downside for Disney.
Just going to look at Disney, and then all of a sudden that spike to the bottom there.
That's so
but
weird.
That's so strange, like as if we were predicting that. Good out there. We talked about getting that 97 there on Amazon, so that was a good out. And you know what's funny is, we just got an email addressed to me about doing a show on the show. So remember we talked about that here on this show, like doing like an office, but like for the trading floor. So I think that'd be really cool. So someone did reach out here, and we're gonna get, I don't know, whatever. Hopefully we can get everybody involved, but that was a lot of fun. So let's see. Hopefully it's something. Just responded to the emails. So I'm not going to drop the guy's name. Let's see what happens there, and we'll talk about that. But that would be a hell of a lot of fun. Then we get picked up by a network, baby, and then we're golden. So we'll see what happens on that one.
That show.
The Office is so sick. Hopefully we can do something like that. And then we can each have our own characters and stuff like that. But all right, Meta downside again, near the low of the day again here for Meta. It needs to break. Obviously, that's why we're holding on to this. We're now 80 cents in the money on Meta. We'll see if it can hold that bottom, 108.90 or so. I mean, we're dancing around there right now. Nice little move in the futures. As you can see, we did make that move down, but then just as much as it moved down, it just came right back up. So that's why we have to look at a trade like Amazon. That's what I wanted to do. Let's do this again. And then we'll do bang. Stop it. So that's what, see, we can do this now, see? Get rid of that so we can stop it right away. There it is right here. Look at Apple is what I want to talk about. Apple pulled back. So again, made that move up to 144.10. We weren't going to get stopped out. I was trying to hold the rest of this anyways. You can see we have a bunch of outs there. So, we're getting lighter and lighter on this position. But then it came right back again down to 143.85. And that's where I took another out. So if you could see, Apple just dropped back in. So we took another out right there, hoping for a lower low to come out here for Apple. And it looks like now there it goes. Nice move down. Let's go, Apple. Apple making a move to the downside. So now Meta, $1 in the money for Meta. Big time in the money for Amazon, not on this trade, but this has been a good trade for us all day on Amazon. Still holding the short, but just like Apple, we reloaded it all, right? So some of these trades don't look as massive as maybe they were, but there goes Amazon right now back into 92. I thought I was bidding a 91, I am. So 91 has never filled me. Every time it's come down here, it's bounced off 91. So I'm just gonna keep this bid there at 91. Hopefully it'll fill. We'll be able to take 20 cents, like a whopping 20 cents. And then maybe if we're lucky, Apple and Amazon continue to fall down and we will get that low of the day here with only 45 minutes left until imbalances. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. I like that. That's a
When I dream.
There's a Key and Peele sketch off of that, which I was talking about Key and Peele with Greg, who is our floor manager. Although, see, we talked about The Office just now, but we legitimately have a Dwight Schrute. Brankles is our Dwight Schrute. That's, at least people have called him that. I don't know if he's as funny as Rainn Wilson.
People call Brankles Dwight.
That's what everyone calls him. They give him the Dwight Schrute nickname. It's because he's the assistant manager on the trading floor.
Assistant to the assistant regional manager.
Assistant to the assistant regional manager.
Right, that's a good one. I was going to say, because Brankles doesn't work on a farm or
Well,
anything
that's
like
the problem.
Although I saw Brankles the other day, I was wondering if this guy, what if he lost his job?
Maybe he does
by the way
work
I saw.
on a farm.
Yeah. But where is Brankles? Oh, there he is. He knows what I'm talking about. The guy came in with like one of those beanie cap hats on. Didn't look like he shaved.
It's casual around here.
No, it's very No, it's well appointed. Nothing wrong with wearing that. But I looked over. I was like, bro, is everything all right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
He looked like.
But the thing is, he hustles in here to help us every morning.
Yeah, I'm not
So
gonna
he
hate
was all, yeah. But shout out to Brankles, the assistant to the assistant regional manager.
Like, we wear collared shirts because we're on the show, but I mean, I don't think, like, when we were only trading, especially when we got our own
why
floor,
would you
I
wear?
don't think anybody was wearing a collared shirt back
The
then.
best thing to do is just wear all jogging pants and sweaters all of the time.
I mean, if the camera was on Lucas.
Right, Lucas?
If the camera was on Lucas right now.
I mean, Fahad was literally coming here in, what do you call those girl pants that he wears? Capris. So
not start with the capris?
Shout out to Fahad as well.
I don't even want to talk about the capris. I'm going to get a trailing stop. I'm going to get trailed out of this TBLA. I got greedy with this thing. It kind of sucks because I had a chance to get 240 and I put the trail way up here at 60s, and now it's really starting to come back to the upside. Microsoft is kind of, I don't know, the market's rolling back over. I'm going to get to Microsoft in a second. There we go. Market's rolling back over. And I saw the market make a turn. I was like, oh, I can get more Microsoft pretty much at the same price. So I just jumped back in to grab a little more. There's nothing I liked for the curl to add. Didn't want to add to Intel at that point. So I just added a softie. I'm going to give it to that 75 level. I'm at 1-to-1 and then 241 into the downside. Oxy has managed to hold the channel at least for now, but only barely. Like, it just bounced off of 68.80. If it cannot hold this, I want to be out of Occidental. Thought there was a chance for it to go. I noticed natural gas is actually making some movies. So Nat Gas, if you're watching, has been a good one. Thoughts on Mobileye? You don't have to put it 4 times in the chat. for us to look at a stock. Don't worry about it. If you spam the chat, you can get in trouble. Mobileye is not a day trading stock. I'll get that one out of the way. So I'm assuming you mean, like, what do I think of Mobileye long term? I think look, at the end of the day, I like what they do, and I think there's going to be, why is this not loading up? I think there's going to be an opportunity to invest in this, but on the day that it IPO'd, I kind of felt that was somewhere in the teens, and I don't know if my mind is completely changed on that. I don't know if this is the right time or environment to necessarily believe in Mobileye for the long term just yet. I was like, just be patient with some of these IPOs. You know, it hasn't even retraced back into those lows. The market makes another leg down. Is exactly the kind of stock that should get back down to those IPO bottoms. This daily chart loading that's at 25 and then potentially go lower. I think for sure if this was in 15 to 20, I'd be looking to pick some up, but it's just nowhere close to where I thought it was going to be headed. I was wrong about this. I thought the first day we go long the first day, and then after that it'll be weak. It was short, it made a low at 25, and to my surprise, made a fresh high. I would never have guessed it was going to make a fresh high after coming down on day 2. I just figured after day 2, it would just trend down into 15, and that hasn't happened. I still think it can happen, but clearly it was right the first day. It was just wrong after it bounced off 25.
Okay, I'm reloaded now on Amazon, and I was about to tweet this out. I just got to find the I'm reloaded thing there as a gift. But look at Amazon. Let's go. This one's worth a bang right there as it's going to the downside. Now 40 cents in the money on this Amazon trade, breaking lower. Remember, I just said, like, let's see if we could test the low of the day. So unfortunately, I got some out at 80 there, and now we are at that low of the day one more time. So we're going to have to see right there. Don't quit your day job on that one. But here it is. We'll take a bid. There we go. We'll just put it. Oops. Just got a bid out there at 60. So sorry, 61 there. Just got a bid out. Why did I just show Amazon? Oh, I put the wrong price. Oh, that's why. Okay. Woo. Good thing that repriced it right there. I put 97, then it rejected. You can't put an order that's way out or else it rejects. So thought I didn't get the fill, but we did. Right there, 63 out right there for Amazon. So this is the thing. Sometimes when, like, it looks like, oh, you might have painted that. Like, there's no way you got that short, or that out. You just saw me put that bid out there, hit 63, and we get that. So there it is right there. I mean, it's going to come in anyways. Good out there for Amazon. And again, 40 cents in the money for that trade. Apple, though? Really, Apple? Apple's not doing anything. It's not even moving. So I don't, we've already covered that. We're pretty light on this trade. This has been one of the bangers, again, for us here, bringing us some money today. I mean, it's been a good trading day for sure. Although we talk about this all the time. Trade the right names. You got like a fluffer in my. Trade the right names, and you should be rewarded. So, today, good little move to the downside here. We've been absolutely hit a lot of trades today. Unfortunately, tomorrow I'm off again, so rest for the wicked.
It's like you're taking vacation when they mandate us at the end.
Yeah, it's like I'm supposed to take vacation here. So you could see though, we take a little bit of time off. It doesn't mean that these hands are going anywhere. We'll be back on Wednesday.
You got to decorate the tree.
Yeah, I think we're decorating. So Marissa has parent-teacher council tonight. So hopefully if that doesn't go too late, we will decorate it. But we have everything all set up and ready to go. Man, those trees take a hell of a lot of water.
Before we go to Brennan,
by the way,
quickly,
go ahead. Yeah,
I did get my first out on Microsoft there because like this channel that it's in, I want to try to respect it. I watched it bounce off 241 quarter. And just said, okay, let's get something out in front of that quarter because it's holding that channel. I may even take a second leg out, then just rinse and repeat and even get a better price than before. But that short starting to roll to the downside. I got a bid on Intel as well, but Oxy just came out. So the one long we had, Oxy just took out that 68.80. I'll be out of that and holding on to our shorts, which continue to work downside. Brendo?
It doesn't appear to be anything new on this, but just saw this pop up on volume scanner. Man U. It tried and looks like it's coming right back down. So maybe a nothing burger, about 1% for Man U. Just saw a little bit of volume there.
All right, well, we'll look at that. I know you've had Man U a couple times here today, so that could be something.
Portugal hasn't scored yet? Man, they suck. Sorry.
I made money. I made money the other day. I bet Brazil plus Spain, I think. Were they playing on the same day? Anyways, I had a money line parlay on that one. Yes, Kevin, know me tomorrow, but that's okay. You're going to get, do we get paid time off? Yes, we do. What else? That's about it. Oh, yeah, someone says Ronaldo. So maybe he just did score. Yeah, goal. says playmaker. So
Oh, sir.
must have been there. There it is. I see.
I had-
Portugal 1-0 Uruguay.
I had no idea. I was curious. He said because Brendan said Man U, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. The World Cup is on.
Yes.
What's
yes.
happening?
Wow,
And then,
look
of
at
course,
this.
Now we're going to the downside. That actually, whoa, low of the day. NASDAQ just broke the low of the day. There we go. So ring the registers a little bit as the market is finally coming in a little bit
Bang.
more. But there we go. Like I just got low of the day on Intel. I'm assuming Microsoft probably Microsoft just filled. It's not at the low of the day yet, but it's certainly going to get there. It sat down today, and I don't think I know that everything was bouncing off the lows. I don't think we moved the bear to a bull at any point, but it wasn't easy, some of the shorts. But it was, you had to sit through it. The market's now down 1.5%. Not that you want the market to go down, but it made a heck of a lot more sense where stocks were at and in terms of the momentum in the news that we'd be headed to southbound. Now you're seeing that continuation, and I'm going to assume I probably missed up on Tesla. I wanted 185. You know what? 184 would have worked, but that doesn't make it the right thing to do. You stick to your price level, stick to your entries. I said I wanted to short it off 85s here. You could have had $1, but I'm only going to take trades that make sense. And if you miss something that works, if you had to break the rule to do it, then maybe that's not the right thing to do.
I just want to say, remember we were talking about it, and I was saying in the chat, and it's not to throw shade at anybody, but when Amazon was against me 10 cents or 15 cents, there's some traders in the chat, they're like, oh man, you're gonna get burned on this short. And honestly, yeah, I mean, that's why different traders, there's famous saying, different strokes for different folks. Obviously, we all know about that. And I just feel like, you got to trade your own book. There's a lot of people that might have made money on the long, and there's hopefully some traders that are making money with me now on the short as well. So it's you can go either way depending on your time frame, the book that you're managing, and your style of trading, right? So, I mean, it's not... There are days where I'm both long and short today because, and Neil just talked about turning that over. There's a reason why, every single idea on my sticky note today is a short. There's not even one long written on here. We did talk about AMD if we ever did find a bottom there that we would want to go long. And we could look again at AMD, but we haven't pushed the key long in that name today or in any name, to be honest with you. We were short Tesla. We were short XPeng. We were short Shopify. Was I ever long Microsoft? Yes, I must have been because right there, yeah, there's the long right there. But again, started the day short. This might be the only name that we were ever long. We were short DocuSign as well. You can see where that one is now. Those are shorts as well. DocuSign back down to the low of the day. And then realistically, the stock that really sucks is XPeng because although I'm up almost double Apple, I'm up double the amount on Apple that I've lost on XPeng. So that part is good, but it sucks because again, we battled this short and then got taken out basically at the high. But notice something here, and that is that I always say, especially right now, that timing has to be your friend. So, look down here, right? Yeah, just do it like that. That's good enough. Whoa, not too many ellipses there. But, whoa, get off the... Oh, damn it, I got to get off that. Okay, so, and then it disappears, everything, but that's good enough. Okay, so right here, this is 9:45. So I didn't do any trading past 9:45. So I have to sort of go back and say to myself, you've told yourself not to get into positions until the market settles down a little bit. If we would have done that, we were obviously looking short on XPEV. It's written right on here. I have 3 shorts in a row. I just should have waited. And if we would have waited, then you can erase the loss. It would have been a dub, and then the rest would have been history. So, be a little more patient there, and I think we would have done a lot. Well, I know we would have done a lot better on XPeng, but again, that's the problem, right? Because if the market keeps running all day, then this XPeng is at $8, and then all of a sudden this looks good. So when you're looking back at it, there's nothing. I think it would have gone to $8.
It's because
and how low it is.
It's because of how cheap the stock is. I'm more like it's just the fact that
it's when you said a firm was $13 today. Yeah. I would have lost whatever bet there because I would have said it was closer to 20 than to 15.
You know what? 3 stocks are all basically the same price.
Amazon just got a beautiful fill.
I just got 241 on Microsoft. I mean, everything's going down to the low of the day, so hold on to your shorts. The longs are pretty much done. I don't really see anything that I'm going to like to the long side that's left. But it was a firm, Beyond Meat, and Peloton are all $13. I actually think Peloton's lower than that. But someone asked me if I liked Oxy, where I would short Occidental. The problem with the shorting Occidental is there's a 50 on the daily. This might be a trade for tomorrow for me. because we're at 40 minutes to go. It's at the 50 period on the daily right now, where I think it could find some support. I'm not done thinking it could be a potential long bouncing off that 68.50. So I said I'd allow it to get to that price. I took the break at 69. We gave it that 20 cents and change. And then it stopped out, right? So I had the break of the channel. I stopped out when it broke that bottom. I was trying to get out, in here at 1-to-1, and if it took the high of the day. But I need to see it bounce and hold here first. I love that level on the daily chart. If it opens below that, fair enough. Just like Apple today. Apple opened below that 50 period. I was looking for shorts. Oxy opens below 68.50 tomorrow. I'll be looking for shorts. I'm assuming, of course, if that happens, that oil futures will be weak. I wouldn't want to short Oxy into a strong oil market. That would be nonsensical. But there's still a chance that it can hold that. So I'm not really looking for those shorts. We got the shorts that we like for now. I do like Win still if it can hold VWAP. It looks like it's about to get, I keep typing New York. It looks like it's about to get down into that 78 level. So I'm still looking for the dip buy in Win. I'm going to cancel the breakout. That's clearly not going to happen. Brendo.
Just checking on GCT. I saw a few people mentioning this one. Little one. It's not terribly small. 22.5 million. It's not 1 million, let's put it that way. GCT up big time, though. You can see volume at day highs here, guys, as we break through 8, trying to get going again.
Yes, those are the kind of names that we really need to be focusing on right now as well. Someone said, Croatia, Canada, 4-1, nasty.
Well,
I only went to one wedding this summer, so I actually have my cousins are Croatian. So, come on, Italian wedding, Croatian wedding. It was actually half Italian, half Croatian, the wedding. So, if you can imagine that there was a lot of done on that wedding, and that was hell of a lot of fun. And I messaged my cousins. Actually, they're twins. There's 4 of them, and they were exuberant with that win.
I can imagine.
They're born they're Canadian, but their father is Croatian through and through, and they travel back there. So shout out to Croatia, world number 12, almost as good as Italy, world number 6, but we didn't make it, so we'll have to back away from that one. But good luck to Croatia moving forward. You guys. I prefer Croatia to Belgium because of family ties, so hopefully they can come out of the group.
They looked better.
And then we have...
I thought Croatia looked better versus
what did
Canada
Belgium...
than Belgium did.
Belgium drew Morocco? Or
No,
did they lose?
lost.
They lost, right.
Belgium lost to Morocco.
So...
Not that Morocco's that bad, but
they're not great. I don't know enough about it. So, but anyways, hopefully Canada can deal with Morocco on Thursday and get that one victory under our belt, although we are the second nation eliminated from the World Cup.
At least they weren't the first. Congratulations to the USA for tying England. You guys know on Friday I was sort of talking about where my allegiances were for that match. It's a family thing. It has nothing to do with the fact that Canada was, obviously a former colony from Great Britain. But I have family that A, played and B, still lives over there across the pond. So I'll always be an England fan. Canada first, Canada first. It's all about Canada first. At GCT, I'm looking for an entry to the stock. But I was looking at the daily chart here. I'm kind of thinking I should pay for shorts, but with 320, there's time. I'm going to double check because if you look at this, I got to zoom way in on the daily here. The 50, that matters a little bit, but if you look at the last kind of rejections, you got 730, then you have this nice consolidation right at $8. So this feels like this is decision point time for a stock like this. It gets to a level, and this is where I'd be looking for a bit of a reversal at that 8. It hasn't gone through the quarter, so I'm not sure it's breaking out from here just yet. Still a chance it does break that 825, but I have to price locates first, right? Because if it's too expensive, there's only 40 minutes to put on the trades, it doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. Intel, for some reason, just cannot break 2860. Like, it's not a huge size on the bid, but there's somebody refreshing at that price every single time. So double bottom, I'm looking for that to break. I'm not going to add to it on that break, but I'm holding for that next 10 cents to the downside. But I'm going to go get some locates, or at least check on the price for this GCT, because it's at a good level on the daily.
What's up, Trader Gorno? Yeah, I don't know. Randy doesn't trade here, so whether he does that in his own personal account, I have no idea. He just said probably low-key Randy's the best trader. Maybe, I don't know. But he doesn't do our style of trading.
He doesn't day trade. He's not a day trader.
Right now, yeah. Like I said, you guys, we're the traders.
Randy.
So, I mean, what's up to Randy? Shout out to Randy. Randy Bobandy. I said to Lucas, I said, where's Bobandy today? So we'll shout out to Randy as well. Okay, let's go. All right, so what's up to Shakib, my good friend there from the chat, one of our loyal and longtime watchers, wants to know what's up with Affirm. So, I mean, you did hear me talk a little bit about Affirm. It was just more about the price. I haven't even really looked at it, Shakib, yet today or in a long time. Obviously, I was surprised at how low this name was. I feel like I shouldn't have been, like, my call isn't that bad. It was 6 days ago, we were at $18. So for it to be at 13 right now is pretty big destruction.
It had a big run.
Yeah, no, it did have a big run back up, but I mean, it's just the fall down is epic. And then right now you're right back. I mean, look at this move up. So, I mean, it went from 12 on the 10th to, what day is this? The 15th, $18. So that's a 50% move in 6 or 7 days, given right back in 2 weeks, all the way back. So, look, you know what? I'm going to say something here that, you know, might be good. It's just, why not test this long again? Like, if not today, I don't want to go short. I don't want to go long today. But down here now to $12, it's kind of reminding me of. I don't know why our chart's not loading. I mean, this name was $200, but I mean, eventually. Down to $12 here. Very limited risk. I mean, I think you get 20% worth of risk to break 10. So for me, I feel like out of the money calls, something like that might be decent when and if you get near that $10 mark, buy like $14 or $15 calls, something like that. And again, you know, I try to leave that kind of talk to, you know, traders that are looking at Affirm and stuff, but this is not a name that I would hold in my long-term account. But if you're looking for swing trades and things like that, I really think that down near 10, 11, 12, like whenever a stock has made these, oh, here you go, now it might load. Yeah, there it is. Whenever these stocks have kind of made these bottoms, to me, it's always worth trying again. We saw that on DraftKings, bounced off 11 twice, went to 15, went to 19, I think, actually. So why not? I mean, if you get a little retracement back to the upside in Affirm, you can get out of your half, then you're playing with house money. So if the market ever does recover, then you're kind of laughing with that. So for me, I would hold back. Sharif said probably the smartest thing that we could possibly say, and that is right now, you still don't really want to be invested in any companies that are losing money as we speak, because the cost of money is going up. So no matter what we think about the next year or so, which it's very hard to predict, we know what the Fed is doing, and they're raising 50 on December 13th, and then after that is the unknown. So I feel like it's worth buying these names after that, after we get some possible dovish talk or something from somebody in the Fed, because look at today.
They're selling Apple today. I mean, is that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and that keeps the doctors away.
My Apple was delicious today, by the way.
Right.
But it's like, if the good companies and the companies that are just making money hand over fist are having some trouble, is this a time that you want to go ham? So as a matter of fact, and look, everyone can do their own thing, but you can, you know, I had thought about trimming, because someone asked about Intel for the long term, because I'm like shorting it every single day. I picked some more up at 25, and I think we had talked about that a few weeks ago. But the other thing you can do, and this is, if you don't want to sell stock, you think it could be going lower, you can always just sort of, you know, sell like calls or something on them, which isn't a bad play if you're able to do that, because if you sell like, you know, I'm talking like in the mid 30s, which is what I was looking at for Intel. If it gets there, I'd probably want to sell it anyways. I don't think it's going to happen, but then it gives you some income and another way to be able to play it if you think market's headed down. I did get into this GCT. It was a quarter of it. The locates were essentially free for us, which was a bit surprising. I was expecting to see locates higher. So I showed you the daily chart. It was at $8. It failed at $8.20. And then I showed the daily, kind of that level being a nice little turnaround zone. So failed wick high, parabolic mover, short the consolidation, stop at the top. 1-to-1, 780 gets them out there. I'm actually going to take a couple more legs out because it's 3:30. It is later in the day, so I want to get more aggressive, making sure this pays off. And then I'll be all out if it gets to 760, 750. So my stop is through. I actually did get two. It's hard to see. I got 2 fills out already. So I have already paid 1-to-1 on some of this trade. And then I'm looking to see if we can't get down into VWAP. It's a counter trend for sure. That's why I'm going to have a hard stop. I'm going to allow Microsoft to get through this low. It's 240.80 is the low of the day. I've already scalped out. I did miss the chance when it got back up. It was a possible re-entry at 241.50. That's where I wanted it. That's where I'm in. It got up to 241.43. So I missed by about 10 cents to be able to reload. But even this is starting to come back down. Test lows of the day. Going to hang on to it. Throw some trailing stops as we get closer to 350 and the imbalances coming out, which I don't expect to see a heck of a lot for the imbalances. But the new trade was GCT. It's not about the market. This is just a setup. If it puts a wick high parabolically through a level on the daily chart and the risk to reward's good for paying for the shorts, I'm just going to put that one on. I don't want to squabble over 5 cents. So when I see it get down here and it's like cents away from my level and someone steps in on the bid, I'm just going to shave in front of it. So price shaving just means if you see a big bid that's bigger than you, then just get out in front of it. Like if a big bid's at 65, I bid at 67. We call it price shaving in terms of like just putting an order in front of another big order. So I just moved mine to be in front, got out there. So we'll ring the register on GCT and give that one the win. By the way, I just want to throw it out there. My Buffalo Bills handled their business, but looking at some of the results over the weekend, I'm like genuinely concerned about the Buffalo Bills' opportunity to win the division. Like I'm looking at this Miami.
Remember I told you?
I'm looking at this Miami team, and I'm looking at Josh Allen's elbow on some of these throws, and I'm a little bit concerned. I still believe in my team. I'm a Bills Mafia forever. But I would not, like, Miami's really good. They're really good.
Yeah, I just don't believe. I mean, I know like Josh Allen's a super talent, but I don't believe in his ability to win the big game because of his decision making. So, but Tua's young as well. So
he is, but
let's just hold off on that
so
one.
Good.
Was that a call for Brendo?
A few things, guys. There's this. I was just checking. Renewable energy, clean energy, Beam. This one, BEEM, on the NASDAQ, ripping right now through to 19. Apparently, the CEO on Fox Business just announced a deal with GM, General Motors. So this one worth a look. Beam on heavy volume right now to the upside. And then I saw this and kind of chuckled because B of A out with their 2023 S&P forecast. And yeah, 4,000 is where Bank of America sees the S&P by the end of next year.
Okay, so where did they see? What was the target?
4,000.
4,000. Okay, so as it lies, I think people would take a zero on the year. I don't know for next year. Like you don't want to do that, but considering, yeah, I don't know. I mean, coming off the kind of, I mean, again, the S&P is only down 16% from its all-time high. But we talked about it, so you can just Google Fed rate tool. For anybody that was talking about it, they just said, how do we know what's going to happen? We don't. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but here it is right now at 68%, well, 67.5 for 50, and then 32.5 for 75. So that's, coming through for December 13th. So that's what the market is expecting right now, the target rate up to 4.5 trades in bips, right? So 450 bips. So that's what they're thinking right now. So I'm just going by what everybody else thinks for the December rate. Right there. You can also see February and see this is where I'm talking about, what's going to happen from that point forward. That would be 25, 50, 75 again, and as it just keeps on going. So you can Google that, just Google Fed rate tool, and they should all be accurate. So that's what that is. We'll wait to see where that's going right now. But early mock imbalance, 320 million. Thank you, Brendan, for that. And thank you to Paul for putting that in the chat as well. Very, very, so I don't know where, I guess you guys are all getting it from the same spot. We get it from Financial Juice, so shout out to those guys over there, and Tony Knack, who's been on the show a couple times. Out of Amazon a little bit there. We only have small pieces left. Apple, $1.25 in the money. That's near the bottom as well. Meta is officially at the bottom. This has been a great trade, reversing into the short. Meta right now at the bottom of the day. I just feel like holding on to these with only 20 minutes to go. We had some big winners here. We battled back, made a lot of money since the first couple trades. So, happy to go as there goes the market to the downside. I like it. Oh, someone said
switched
about...
off to full screen.
Are you still in Oxy? Someone mentioned Oxy.
No, out Oxy 68.80, 25 cent, rose 20 cent risk plus slippage on that one. So I'm all out of Oxy. I showed you guys the channel here, and always try to work through like the full idea. It's not just about like where you get in, but I ended up taking the break of the channel. It then broke the channel to the downside. So yes, it's holding up at view up now. It's a little bit late in the day for me to want to get into this long. It's holding up pretty decently. And if this was a little bit earlier on in the session, I might take a second stab at it. But once it broke my stop, I was pretty much out. It was an automatic order there. Ooh, I just got trailed out of GCT. So that was a nice quick one. And shout out to Brendan for bringing this one to our attention. And look, the idea is that it's going up. I understand it's a nice trend, but you got to the daily chart. There's your 50 period. There was that consolidation at about $8 if you go back. And I just like that level. Anytime you get an obvious level on the daily chart and then you have the stock run into it, show you a top, and then give you the consolidation. It's 8, it's into 825 there. It plays down into 760. So it got to VWAP there, but most of the outs are in front of that 770, so about 1.5 to 1. What I like about that trade is you know where you're wrong first. At least I know where I'm wrong first. I'm going to short this, and I'm going to give it to the high of the day. And when I take this trade, you are willing to make the top wick. If it takes out the high of the day and then flushes right after and you get stopped out, so what? So be it. That's sort of the cost of doing business when you take that kind of a setup. I just got another leg out on Intel at 28.55. So I have a pretty good idea what I'm going to be doing on Intel. Well, you never know exactly how the day is going to play out, but Intel's not at the 50 period yet. So I still think it's setting up. If you're beneath that 28.85, this channel on the daily, there's still room to get down to 28 even, the 50 period, where I think it should find some support down there. I'm likely to be on the bid tomorrow at 28 even on Intel, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
All right. Yeah, just getting ready to wrap everything up here. I've been watching. I mean, there's not really too many comments here about what to trade. Definitely, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. I'll do a quick little look on that. Yeah, I was just going to look at Best Buy. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but I've spent some ducats on Best Buy recently. So hopefully, that stock will pay
family
me.
Got some.
Yeah, exactly. We're always getting something, that's for sure.
From Santa, right?
Yeah, from Santa, of course. Nice little downside move here for Best Buy today. We're going to wait to see where it goes. Not downside, still holding up above water there for Best Buy. And again, good little move. I don't know, why is it not low? Because it was on NY. Good move in the last couple days here for Best Buy, off 70, earnings up to $80. We did have a good, like we were talking about Best Buy for Black Friday and for Cyber Monday and for holiday shopping. So again, we talked about this last week when we were bringing this up. I like this name, but above 85. So we're getting pretty close to that. Just get that garbage out of here, then we'll go back up to the upside, because the one thing about Best Buy, and I'm just going to double check right now, and I just use FinViz for this. I mean, obviously I should just pull up trade ideas. I don't know why. I'm not doing this. They have all this information as well. Let's just check it out here. I thought it was about 4%. There it is right there. 4% dividend as well. So a lot of traders may not know that about Best Buy. So it's a nice little dividend there for Best Buy, 4 1/3%. So if you're looking to get something in the space, consumer goods, Best Buy has been a decent name for you. Although, just because that was a 4% dividend doesn't mean that you're going to want to buy the name. But again, just get above here. I think Best Buy works. Despite all the trouble that Amazon keeps throwing at these retailers, some of them just keep on performing. And Best Buy is just one of those names. Like, I have the app on my phone. If I'm looking for anything electronic, I go to Best Buy. And I know Best Buy is kind of like a showroom for Amazon, because you can, you see the product at Best Buy, then you go over and buy it from Amazon. But I feel like Best Buy can stay competitive in that space as well. So let's see what happens. Not all of us do that. I mean, I've probably done that before as well. But as far as some certain things, computing, video games, things like that, I mean, Best Buy's always going to have a little bit of money there. Should never say video games without talking about GME, though, I guess.
Yeah, you can.
Although I saw GME, we were downtown the other day. There was a GameStop on Yonge Street. I haven't seen too many of those around.
No, you definitely have not. You know what's weird? I did not buy a single thing for Black Friday, mostly because I was away for the weekend for my anniversary. Although I saw something. I love art, and when we were away, we're in like a local shop, Niagara on the Lake, and I very rarely go into an art store. I'm like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this painting. I'm like, we're getting this painting. So, well,
I didn't know you had a bunch of paintings.
I don't have a lot. I have some
you want to
paintings
start collecting?
I have a couple of paintings that my brother has done for me. He's an artist. I think I probably mentioned that before, but I'm like, wow, this is really, really, really nice. And it was a local artist. He's Canadian, Niagara Falls obviously is in Canada. So when I get it, I don't
It's also
mind.
in the U.S.
I'll show it to you guys. But yeah, I'm on our side of the falls, obviously, is where I was. Niagara-on-the-Lake's like a little vineyard type area, a lot of vineyards in that place, and that's where my wife and I got married. So that's where we went for our anniversary. But yeah, I was like, it spoke to me, and I'm like, I really hope we do get it, but we're going to look to see what we can get, because obviously I want to talk to the artist about getting a deal if we get one or two of his prints. And I've never been that kind of a person, so no electronics at all for me yet. We can always think about that. But look at the market bouncing here. I should have just put a trailing stop on Microsoft. I thought I'd give it to breaking these lows. It got right to the low of the day, touched it, and now you're all the way back in. I've scalped most of this out, but I'm kind of frustrated with myself for not getting it all out there at that bottom. I don't want this to get back past break even, because the market, it's still weak, but that was looking a gift horse in the mouth, to be sure. So I'm going to make sure that I don't give anything worse than break even on the last of this Microsoft. If it gets back into the low of the day, I'll just take it out at the low. Going to respect the fact that somebody wants to buy some softy at these levels. And we're sort of talking about this with a firm. Like, how confident do you feel in something like that when Microsoft, at no point today when the market was rallying, did Microsoft get any juice? Is that a good sign for something like a CRM that reports, like Salesforce reports this week? Snowflake reports this week. So for Softy to be relatively weak, and they'll see I'm actually having a good day today, like you wonder, like if they don't respond positively, they're still it's not the cheapest stock in the world. My daily chart doesn't want to load on CRM now, so that's going to be a bit of a fail there. But this is a name that's failing the 50 period. Well, it's at the 50 period right now, but it has been having a hard time showing any kind of continuation on strength. And I like these guys for the long term. But if these can't find great bottoms just yet, then how good a bottom can you like on a firm for a long term? Like I just think there's going to be a really good time to get into CRM. I'm just waiting for next year for a lot of these names. Even Intel, I'm not going to add until next year. And I think they'll be fine in the long run. But it's been a tough road for a stock like this. And we're going to get that print on Wednesday, and it's going to be a mover. At least I think it's Wednesday. I should double check that.
Yo, what's up, Vanilla Ice in the chat? I see you.
Yes.
I know you invented rap and everything like that, but let's.
Did you though?
I have that T-shirt, Vanilla Ice invented rap. Maybe I'll wear that one day. I don't know. Canadian football team let me down. Yeah, I mean all of us down. I think at some point we were expecting.
The Argos won the Grey Cup.
Okay. I'll just let you have your moment there.
No, just kidding.
I believe he's talking about football. Soccer.
Oh, foot soccer.
Yeah. So that's all. I agree. Hey,
okay.
Argos, great Argos. But I believe that he's not talking about CFL.
No, he's probably right.
Because, again, if a Canadian football team let you down in CFL, they're all Canadian.
Well, that's true.
So maybe the league. But anyways, that was a tough game. But the thing about it is, thank God for me, I was in 5 different arenas yesterday. So actually, curling was 9:30 to 11. Then my daughter had a game, my son had a game down South Etobicoke for 11:30, so we had to run there quick time, almost missed it. Then she had a game at 1:30 somewhere else. Then we came home and chilled out so that game 1:30, we got home at 3, and then we had to take her to, and I didn't do this, the wife did, took her to another arena for practice, which is where we watched Endgame. So, because my daughter doesn't really like the Marvel, she likes it, but anyway, so very, very busy. So, needless to say, I only really saw highlights. So,
hopefully, Aaron.
Hopefully
my daughter does not want to play hockey.
Hopefully, she does, man. Hockey is amazing.
What's
honestly, gymnastics is
Joe, he was saying
amazing.
the same thing,
Baseball is
too.
amazing. Hockey is it's her favorite.
Okay.
So, and there's nothing violent about it. There's no hitting.
Oh, no, it's
the time commitment that's the problem. So.
My daughter's convinced she's going to be the fastest person in the world. She can't watch the Olympics. She's like,
yeah. Well, that's good. Nothing wrong with confidence.
She's like my daughter. She's like Fahad when it comes to running. It's just.
Yeah, except for Fahad's a grown ass man.
I can beat anybody. So I told
she's
you
allowed
guys.
to say
I
that
told
stuff.
these guys to ask about some of the conversations that we had with the game with Fahad. Fahad legitimately.
We gotta wait for him to be here.
I don't care. I'm saying it now.
Because then he can say shit in our ear.
He legitimately 100% said, if I could train
and I believe this.
as many years as Usain Bolt, I could be as fast as Usain Bolt.
He doesn't.
He legitimately came out of his mouth that all he would need to do was train. If I train as hard as Usain Bolt, I could be as fast as Usain Bolt.
People like that Fahad is a grown-ass man. No, so Fahad, so this is the thing about Fahad. He just believes so much in, you know,
Nonsense?
the humankind. No, but he just believes that, like, everybody can accomplish anything. That was his whole point. But then, you know, so he was saying if, like Neil said, because we were there, right, in the halftime show, there was some acrobat that was doing
even worse.
like crazy stuff, like standing on chair. You guys know, you've been to
I had to take some of
NBA
this win
games,
out, by the way.
Yeah, take some win out there for sure. But you know, he was talking about some acrobatic stuff, and like the guy was, it's like tables stacked on chairs, this and that, and the guy was doing some awesome stuff, and I'm just like, there's no way in hell I could stand on like 2 stacked tables. And then this guy's doing that, and Fahad's just like, ah.
He's like, that's not impressive.
That ain't a thing, you know. I was like, you know.
Then he's like, yeah, well, if I practice, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, 99% of the people in that arena could do all of the gymnastics training they want and never do what that dude just did.
Yeah, you have to have some sort of body composition.
Like, he was on some Cirque du Soleil stuff is what you were seeing at halftime. But Fahad's like, he can do it.
Do we believe this? 26% of Americans aged 18 to 30 smoke weed. As opposed
Who
to
said
12.
this? Where?
It's from the Gallup poll here. 12. I know. I see it in the news feed here. 12% cigarettes, 26% Mary Jane. Try to get exactly in the right spot there. Interesting
I love that
stat
song,
there.
by the way.
Interesting stat. So I don't know. I mean, we keep looking at Tilray. Let's go back and overlook at Tilray real quick. I mean, Tilray, these stocks. Yeah. See, you're still not.
Was it like? Yeah, it's not at $4.
I like Afro Man. You know that song? Wanna get high, gonna get high, gonna get high.
Yeah, that's a good joint.
You know, that's a good.
Whatever
good joint.
happened?
Yeah,
whatever
like
happened to Afro Man?
He probably got high. You know. And then it's like, you know,
true.
woke up next to my, you know, was gonna do my homework, but then I got high, you know, was gonna live my life, and then I got high. So we'll have to find out what's up with Afro Man. Shout out to Afro Man in the chat if you are here. What's up? Put on some good trades. But I mean, until Tilray goes anywhere, yeah. And by the way, guys, I'm here all day except for tomorrow. So there it is. Again, I keep saying the same joke. It's like you might as well write up these certificates and smoke them, but it's still worth something. We'll see if Tilray can get going. It's reverse split a couple times. They took off, they merged with Afria. I still think I own the stock. I own the weed. I own Canopy as well, which is weed.to, over here. I don't own too many weed names because got out of them, but didn't make any money. I mean, they've just been straight to the downside. So it's funny because, you know, weed.to, the layout that we have in the background that's on a continuous repeat there for when traders aren't in. It's my layout, and one of the stocks that has on it is weed, and it's this one, and it's $68. That stock on the board there that we have behind us. So it's just like that was only a couple years ago.
Hilarious.
Now it's $5. So I don't know,
it's
man.
not that funny, but
These stocks just keep getting destroyed there.
So I did say
Afro-Man.
just now, and I did get into win. It was the only long I was still looking for, as we're sort of talking there. Sometimes it'll happen. I told you guys I wanted to buy the dip, kind of similar to what I was looking at for Oxy, only I waited for support on win and waited pretty much the entirety of the afternoon for it to get down to 77.90, bounce off this level, and then it gets back up into the 20s. So I just took some out for 30 cents. And because there's no time left in the market, less than 15 minutes left, I don't think you're actually breaking the top at this particular point. So if it gets any higher or closer to 78.50, I'll get it all out. At this point, I don't even want it getting below 78 again. I'll trail this one in the money. But there have been a few opportunities for the long side of the trade. Not much, market week. So we grab one here with win. We'll ring the register for it. It has not been that great a day if you've been looking for longs. But congratulations if you've been able to find them. So the dip buys have been fantastic. I keep saying I was going to look at some of the other ones, but I never did. I mean, at Las Vegas Sands today, I don't think it got, it didn't really clear $45. It doesn't look like LVS. You know, they were mostly dumping at the open. Win just a little bit stronger. This dumped at the open as well. Not a lot of strength there. So at least Win is relatively strong. Was definitely in the right one. Microsoft and Intel, I'm pretty much, at this point, I got a trailing stop out and I'm off the bid on Microsoft and Intel. Very similar story here. I'm bidding at the low of the day, and I have, almost got trailed out there, but didn't quite get trailed out on Intel. So we'll see if we can't hold these through the imbalances coming out in 2 minutes. But if this does break this channel, I'm going to get out of Intel. Third time short, and it was still a charm. That's how the shorts work on this stock.
Yeah, you gotta keep going back to the well when they are working. So that is for show. All right, we're gonna do the same thing here for Meta. We're just getting ready to wrap up some of these trading days here. I think we had a good day. People said we're light on the likes. I mean, I don't know. We're over 2,000 on the first show there. 786. Come on, guys. 4,000 watching. Turn that thing around. Get that to 1,000 if we can. Some good talk, right? I think it's been pretty entertaining.
Real talk. Well, it's always real talk. Lucid. What's up with?
I don't know. Is that really Fahad in the chat?
No.
So
is it where?
It says Fahad.
No.
Is someone? He's saying it is him right now. Let me see. All right, Fahad, if it's you,
then message one of us.
Message me on my phone. You have the bat number. You have the number to the bat line right here. So let's see if he does. If he does, then I will comment on that Fahad in the chat. And if it is you, well, he's back tomorrow. I'm not, but I'll see you on Wednesday, my guy. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, it's him. Catalan, CTLT, maybe one for tomorrow here. Not enough time left in the day, but CTLT, big mover right now. Just took out day highs back to the upside. 12.3%. Write that one down for tomorrow.
Yeah, it is him.
Yeah, he just he sent over to the bat line now, and that is Fahad, so I can comment on him. Yeah, you have to rewind to hear what we were talking about, but again,
we just let them know all the trash you were talking, Fahad.
Yeah, about how you
game.
could run what 4.53 or whatever the
he could run as fast as Usain Bolt. So.
Yeah, and you could do that gymnastic stuff that the guy was doing at halftime, right there. But yeah, it just would have been cool if Fahad would have gone and said what's up to Kyrie.
That was the other
but
thing
we didn't
too.
Want him to do it because I feel like part of me says he would have done that.
You know what happens if you try to storm the court?
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
it's not a good look at all, which we didn't want to see have.
And Fahad, from one white guy to another. I love you, bro. All right.
I wasn't going to bring that up, okay?
Oh, man.
I wasn't going to bring that up because you can't tell the whole thing.
Fahad confirmed. Fahad for president. Yeah, that would be the best. Okay, here we go, guys. Only 30 seconds until these imbalances come out. So let's do that right now. Let's just refresh, activate source. We'll figure this out. So coming out right now, very, very soon, actually. We'll put this up here so we can see. I'll move this over. We can see the stock. We could all see this together. I'll move this over because we only have 10 seconds, so we don't need to see the time, right? It's all coming out right now. Where can I put this? Let's put it over here. So we'll see if it's coming out. We can watch the stock, plus we can watch the NASDAQ. So we already have Meta, Apple, and Amazon. We're hoping for a downside move right now in the futures, and it looks like upside, I guess. The futures don't seem to be moving that much.
Not much.
We'll wait for Brendan from that, but pins. Okay, there's Google. Google a buy. Just looks like it just updated right now. Google got a buy there, so that stock. See, there's the gap up. You could see for Google
Marvel.
up to 95 there, so a nice little gap up right there for Google. Everything else seems to be. I don't see. There's Apple. So I'm in Apple. So there's a little bid for Apple right now, starting to go back up to the upside as well. Goes Apple. So some of these imbalances are shooting these stocks a little bit, but they're not shooting the moon. That's for sure. So we'll see what's happening here with Apple. Nice move back up to the upside. There it is. 7.5 to buy, 745 million shares on the buy side.
Yeah, I'll get taken out of Microsoft on those imbalances, but just Marvell's actually on there. They report this week, I want to say. I got out of Intel, actually came down into 2860 again, so be out of that one. But why did this not go over to Marvell? That's what I wanted to check. Yeah, we get them reporting this week. I don't want to, you know what, I'll double check the date because I think it's Thursday or Friday, but I'm not 100% sure which one it is. Of course, my daily chart has performance anxiety, but if we talk about stocks at the 50 period, this is yet another one bouncing off the 50 just today, showing up with a sell and bounce. It bounced off 42, the 50 period moving average. I got to be looking at this stock tomorrow, reporting this week, so that could be a big catalyst for it. The chip names were already under pressure. It never quite cracked that 42, but if it opens below the 50 period, Marvell going to be on my radar. So I'm just still in win here. Oddly enough, it's like all the shorts today, and I'll end the day in a long. Wouldn't have expected it necessarily, but if we get a couple of pennies higher here, I'll just try to get out in front of this high. It's not the high of the day because it was above here in the pre-market, but it's the afternoon high, 78.40. We'll get the last out of win. Not many dip buys were that great, but this held a pretty decent channel and showed good signs of strength, right? You had the good news of an extension, not an extension, of getting the positive catalyst of some permits for them to be able to still open up. And this is probably going to be a breakout trade for me tomorrow. I don't want to say it's in stone, but if it can hold this trend, I like when you see a wick bottom like this on big volume in a recovery, and then a chance to take out this level here, but it probably has to get through $79.50 and $80. No guarantee I'll be long it, because if it gaps down to 75, it's not a breakout trade. But I am going to be looking for win to try to continue this move. There's lots of room for this to go to get up to like 81 and then 84 on the daily. So I'd like to hope that this can maybe continue this trend to the upside. Not too many things I loved long today. At least this one paid out.
All right. Yeah, let's just keep on going here. We're going to, although I'm not in tomorrow, we're going to get a haircut. We'll be back nice and fresh on Wednesday. That should be pretty good. All right. So just an update here. We got out of Amazon. It just bumped up. I was waiting for the imbalances. If they were going to come red, then obviously we would have got out the other side. But there it is. It just broke this 93.80 and we got out. So good trade. Not great because we were all the way down there. But again, we were just holding that last 10%. You could see 9 outs there. And when the market gets slow like this, and I go into scalp mode, like that's pretty much the best I can do, holding for a great move back. That, like that, I could have got that out right there as well, but we held it, right? So gave ourselves a little bit of move there. Meta did not, same thing, Meta chart looks almost exactly the same. Again, we re-shorted Meta right there and we just covered it now. So again, this is pretty much the longest I'm gonna hold the trade. That's 10.20 out right now, 350. So that was a good little out for us there. That's about $1. Off the 110 break. Yeah, 108.80, so about $1 there on that trade. And then now, honestly, I'm just holding Apple. Why? Because Apple's lower than the market today. You're down 2 1/4. That wick must not have happened because I think I'm actually bidding there. If it did, I'll be peed off. No, it didn't. Okay, good. Because I'm bidding 80, I believe, and that went to 80. So hopefully Apple can come back down, give us that fill, and then we'll see what happens from there. So I'm only holding on to one position now. And then, yeah, that's that. Shout out to, now it's, we're not going to break scores, although someone just put it in there that there was another goal in that Portugal game. So, yeah, let's... People still talking about Fahad. You guys got to beat Fahad. Taping it. I can't. Yeah, I know. We don't really want to break scores, but I feel like when and if we do have the Trader TV Live get together, I think that'd be hilarious. Like
everyone's gonna love.
People are going to be all around Fahad as well.
Oh, for sure.
All right, watch the market.
Times, though.
Yeah, it is a good time. Oh yeah, he's great. Great guy. Great good times. Here's the bear. It's still a bear. I'll leave it up to Neil Naroon for tomorrow to have influence on that. For me, I think we're green tomorrow, but we'll wait to see. We'll wait to see. Now the market's really rallying here in the last 5 minutes, though.
Yeah, I just got out. We'll ring the register on the last trade. It'll be win for me. It just, 355 comes, and that's usually when you get the imbalances updating, and it's still not moving. It just bounced one time off support and then got right in. It gave you 30 cents. Maybe it gives you a couple extra pennies, but outside of that, I'm just happy that this actually worked out to the upside. And it looks like it was a good out there on Microsoft. To be able to get out, because it did just challenge. So that 241 or 240.80, bit of a double bottom here, and it recovers a little bit, down 2 1/4%. So incredibly weak on the day, but catching at least a little bit of a bid. Good look there. And Automatic saying AMC rocket. Okay, if you fooled me, you fooled me. I don't know if I don't know if you can call this a rocket ship. It's off of the lows. How about that? But I'm flat. So no new trades for sure. This is way more interesting. I don't know if my old trades they're not going to show. But the $8 level, that's what matters on AMC. That's a break that I had the last time it did. It was pretty good, got to 840. And you've seen that be just an absolute wall each time it's tried to break through $8. Good support down here now that I zoom out. Hey, $7 ain't bad. Thank you, whoever that was. We just saw they're like, yeah, AMC. Have a look at that. So Automatic. Thank you for pointing this one out because $7 is pretty good support. I'm not saying it's free money, but hey, when it breaks, that looks pretty solid. And if it holds tomorrow, 701, 702, that could be a long trade to be had. You always want to line these things up when you find a good level. And 7 looks pretty solid on AMC now that I look at it.
All right, Apple's starting to go back up to the upside, so we're going to get out of this in a few seconds there. But that's going to wrap it up, man. I mean, what a good day for trading here today. I actually just put on a little there it goes. I want to see what it's going to do at 25, but there goes the imbalances straight up to the upside for Apple. So with only a couple minutes left, the market is starting to go back up, which is nice, man. It's nice to see that for sure, as this has been sort of one of those days where it's been pretty flat here today into the close. So we'll see a nice little move upside for Apple right now, breaking higher. We'll see where it goes into the close, but so far so good here as we are now out of pretty much everything. Only 3 minutes to go as Apple just faded back down. I was just trying to see, like, I was feeling like those imbalances might just run out on Apple, but for right now, it seems like it's still moving around here. We'll take on one more short there for Apple, see if it takes out 30, then get out one more time. Just feel like we could dip back in a little bit there. You're at the 200 period. Let's see if it gives it to us. If not, we'll take a 10-cent hit here as our last trade of the day. It's now 357. And again, thank you for watching. Good day today. Good battle back. Started off pretty rough, but we're going to be good here for sure. So let's go back up to the, how do I have a double digit? So that's not our P&L. That's just a matter of how many shares we've taken out of Apple. I'm up hundreds, not thousands on Apple. So that's not, I don't know what it's saying, what the P&L is, but that's like per share we give it. It's a horrible metric, and we need to fix that.
Yeah, I'm checking back on that GCT. It looks like it bounced off VWAP and got back to $8. So that $8 level is going to still be valid for tomorrow, but it bounced right off VWAP. When you're going counter trend, it just feels like sometimes you might get that home run where it just absolutely collapses on a stock, but usually you want to get out when the getting's good because this one does bounce nicely off 760. But that sets up this $8 level for tomorrow. 90 seconds to go, so we are right into that close. I'm just double checking here. Okay, so it wasn't just VWAP. I'm looking back at this one again on my 15-minute. It actually bounced in front of like a 740, 750 level. So there's other reasons why it could have found a bit of a bid here. It found support at that previous high going back into the 7th. I always like to line these levels up so I know what I'm looking for the next day. Wow, Softy's back at 242, so that is showing some strength, man. The market catching a bit of a bid, but it's not going to end green. It's zero, very, very small chance. I should not say 0% chance that it's going to end up green, but a little bit of a bounce in the overall market. Softy down that 2%. We got 1 minute. I think I heard that we're going to have Katrina on the bell. I want to shout out to Fahad for showing up to defend his honor. Well, I think he's back tomorrow. We'll maybe tell a few more stories because there was a heck of a lot more that happened at that Raptors game, which is a heck of a lot of fun. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. I'm going to be watching Softy into this close. As I'm watching it just go to screaming going into the upside. That one bounced double bottom, so I want to see how strong it is off those lows going into this close.
All right, good to go here with only 40, it's 3:59:40, with only 20 seconds to go here. Thanks again for watching, man. It's been a big day. I'm not here tomorrow. Prad, Arun, Sharif, Neil, all these dudes will take you into tomorrow. With only seconds left on the bell, Justin's going to come through and ring that
there he is.
For us right now.
In 4, 3, 2, and Justin.
And there it is, Justin with the hot fire ring right there.
I was about to run over there myself because.
That's all good. It's all good. Justin, here he comes to save the day. All right, good ringing of the bell right there. So shout out to everybody again. Big day here. Big day for the market? Not really. The market is what it is now. We'll wait to see where we're going to go. Yeah.
Poor guy.
For tomorrow. He's fine. He's been in hibernation for a while. I mean, this was a good year for this guy here, the Bear. So good.
Feels like he has a busted nose from my angle.
He does. I think you got to push it in a little bit or out there. Okay, Brendo, how did we wind up?
Pretty red, guys, right across the entire board today. Unfortunately, basically, I mean, we were worse off, but this ain't good either. 1.5 for the S&P, 1.45 for the Dow. It was the Russell 2000 that led 2.1% to the downside, the composite, and the 100 NASDAQ, both 1.5-ish at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, so we did a little sneaky move there. We went short on Apple and took 20 cents there off that imbalance there, flipping over. So there was that last trade, and there's the out. I still have a small piece. We didn't get filled everything, but there it is right there on Apple. So good. That was the trade I was waiting for. It just happened right there at the bell. So yeah, good. I'm going to go grab the haircut. Should be fun to do that. See my man Halim. You can find him on Instagram. It's also the same barber that Randy goes to, and Trader Prad. So So, you know, the Trader TV, you have your guy. Brendan has someone in his back pocket, obviously, as well. So, you know, we'll be looking pretty sharp. And again, thanks everybody for watching.
I forgot to bring up the stock that my
right
barber
now.
was asking about last time. It's
my
goodness.
Cabrera's retiring at the end of next season.
Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah, he's still playing.
Yeah, he's not very good anymore. But
You know
I mean,
what I saw? Pujols, he's gone now.
First ballot Hall of Famer, both those two guys.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute legends. I'm kind of sad about this Jose Abreu to the Astros thing. It's
Yeah.
like, are the Jays gonna make a move?
Nope.
I heard like Nimmo, I heard Cody Bellinger, but nothing still. And the Astros get better, we don't.
We'll see. Have faith. Should be a good one. All right, guys, for everybody here at Trader TV Live, shout out to Fahad, shout out to Lucas, man, Brendan, a big shout out to Trader Prad, Sharif, obviously Neil over here. Great day.
Good day.
Great to be back. It's Cyber Monday, and we really traded some of those names today, including
deals.
Amazon, Apple, all those kind of cool tech names. So, yeah, but we're back tomorrow.
We're back.
At 8:30, so let's
Guess
not
who's
forget
back?
about that. Did we have an earnings board? There's not really too many. Is there, Brenda? We have.
Not this week.
There's
No.
nothing.
Yeah, okay, good. I knew we had Salesforce.
We get some later this week.
Yeah.
Right.
Won't see
Okay.
Thursday.
Good. All right. Well, then that wraps it up, guys. It's 4:02. Stay tuned for the trade of the day. Of course, it's Apple, so check that out. And we will all be back tomorrow at 8:30. So until then, guys, ciao and be well.